Testing the mic. Testing the mic. Waiting for people to come in. And hello to all the people who are watching this a day after the fact. We are now waiting for people to come. There we go. Hello, hi. Okay. People who are familiar with RCR podcast, first thing we do is we test the levels. I'm on pot 2. And I think my levels were the same. I'm just going to pop myself down a little bit, because I think I was a little bit hot last time. Of course, when I was drinking with Nick last time, it was tend to get loud. And with me, is Justin Burnash. Justin Burnash is the owner of Prime Driven, which is an MR2 specialty shop in Stanhope, New Jersey. But it's becoming so much more than just a simple shop. You told me that you're looking to make Prime Driven the Amazon for MR2s.
That's right.
Okay. So, and also to explain how this chat works, people are going to fire questions at us. We'll answer them as well as we can. When the super chats come up, they tend to get priority because they're donating, and we're not going to stop them. But so we welcome any questions you have about MR2s or JDM stuff in JDM Toyotas in general, which is a field that Justin knows quite a bit about. And I think, well, we got a 6-pack of beer to last us. I think 2 hours is probably what we're gonna do if you feel like going 2 hours.
I can go all night.
Oh boy. Hey Duke says DR650 review when? Yes, I bought a Suzuki DR650. I need to find somebody else to help film that day. Oh boy. Hunter Culver asked, and by the way, Alex Campo, thank you for the 99 cents. He had no question, but thanks, man. Hey Duke, Hunter Culver says, what a doozy question to start with. What is the most reliable MR2?
Hunter, that is a great question. And a multitude of answers. The most reliable MR2 is the most stock MR2. Second qualifier to that is the most well-maintained MR2. Third qualifier to that is any MR2 that PrimeDriven.com built.
Right. Oh, and by the way, since both of us are very good at projecting our voices, if at any time we're starting to peak or we're getting too loud, let me know, and I will pot each of us down on the mixer over here. I think maybe he was asking what is the best generation of MR2s, and what did you see there?
I just saw what makes a JDM, well, a JDM from Moo.
Okay.
I think he's looking for maybe the definition, which I could provide.
Okay. Well, it stands for Japanese Domestic Market.
That's right. Pretty simple. And when we're referring to cars as JDM within the Japanese car world in the United States, we're referring to Japanese domestic market only cars most of the time. So a JDM Gen 2 3SGTE engine and a JDM Mark-2 MR2 would be the designation on that. You can also have a USDM Mark-2 with a JDM Gen 2 motor in it. But yes, JDM is Japanese domestic market, and pretty much all the cool Japanese cars.
My first beer tonight is Loose Cannon Hop Cubed, or Hop to the Third Power IPA. I like my, this is 7.5. I'm off and running now. Justin, by the way, never had Yingling Porter. So he's having Yingling Porter. I think that's a 4% beer. And, oh, baby, I like this. You like that? Excellent. My opinion, someone asked what do you think of the Spider? And Alex Campo, we'll get to your question in a minute.
Alex, I like your style.
I think the most reliable MR2 is going to be the manual transmission Mark-3, because mostly it's a Corolla, like a 2000s Corolla, and there's nothing to worry about there. Again, bone stock hasn't been messed with, is going to be your most reliable one, except in the rain. unless you get the optional hardtop. So, Alex Campo, thanks for the $2, man. What does a Miata have that an MR2 doesn't?
Well,
it's got the engine in the front for one.
I got it.
That's simple, but
it has a massive aftermarket support. Next question.
That is true. The aftermarket support on Miatas are so big. When I was at Harris Hill Raceway, there were guys like, half the garages there at that place are just filled with MX-5s. But I was talking to one of the people there and said, yeah, there are some people who, when they race these things, they go as cheap as they can. And there was this one guy who came in raving that he found a Chinese supplier selling MX-5 rotors for $15 a piece new.
That sounds like a race quality rotor.
And they're gonna look, the rotor lasts one day of racing before it warps, and then you just change them. All right.
That's one way to run a race team. It sounds like he must do 24 hours of lemons. Sounds like
big Lemons fans there in San Marcos, Texas.
Yeah. Disposable brake products. That'd probably work economically.
Okay. Silhazo fan. Thanks for the $5, man. Did you by chance see my buddy's Roush Focus ST? He was in Building T at Ford Nationals. I didn't get into Building T. I saw the Roush Mustangs there, and there was a guy from the Focus Club. After I made Which Focus is Best Focus, that's a video coming out, not this Monday, but the Monday after when we're off. And he said that there was a Roush Mustang there. So that was probably it, what they were talking about. But no, I didn't see it. I had a great time at Ford Nationals, though. I'm thinking I may go to American Muscle, which it would be my second Ford show. And... but I may be Mustanged out for the summer because the Fords that I like, honestly, are the Alex Campo. By the way, said a 4th generation. Nice. What is that? The car you get the good engine out of? I forget the minivan.
Well, the 4th Gen 3S GTE. Is the swap that we popularized 5-6 years ago in the MR2, which came out of a Toyota Caldina, which is basically a 5-door hatch / minivan. I think that's probably what he's referring to, or a 4th gen Miata. I don't know, because they call Miatas gens, don't they?
Right. Yeah, I like the 4th gen. I found it strange that
what's the 4th gen? That was the first with the fender flares in it, right?
It's the ND. I know that.
Yeah.
The 4th gen Miata. It's a 6-speed and 6 gear is 1-to-1.
Yes.
Because the rear gearing is so high. I forget what it is. It's Burgundy Burnouts again. Burgundy Burnouts is a guy who's always balling on this. I won't stop him. Burgundy Burnouts, thank you for $2.
Just balling to go balling. No question.
No question. Just $2.
I
Thanks,
salute
man.
you, Burgundy Burnouts.
Why no 4th gen Previa? Says Godsman. Well, do we
it's
want?
It's called a Sienna, just with the motor in the normal place. We almost bought an all-track supercharged Previa for a shop car, and then we found that they're almost nearly impossible to find, and not that good. I mean, good because it's a Toyota,
right?
But as a van, little less than desirable.
Blaine Chappell, and we'll get to STS $10 question in a second. Thanks for the $10, man. We'll get to your question in a second. Blaine says, Justin, is there anyone that you follow that shows promise in developing aftermarket support for AW11s?
Interestingly, Blaine is a customer of ours, if memory serves.
Yeah.
Who I was just speaking to recently, probably today. As far as I'm aware, the AW11 has a fella called Matrix Garage, I think, out in the Midwest somewhere. If anyone's going to make parts for the AW11, it would probably be him. We generally have to focus on the SW20, one, because that's the vast majority of our customers, and two, it's a supply and demand game, and the demand is much higher for the SW20 parts for us right now.
Right. It's also the fastest of all of them, and the biggest engine bay out of all of them. I need to go put a little. I need to run to the bathroom quick. My nose is running. But we have a question here about right-hand drive SW20s that I think you can answer. I'll be right back.
What are the pros? So 262 SDH. What are the pros and cons of working on a right-hand drive SW20 Turbo MR2? That's an interesting question. Pros? I don't know. I mean, it's effectively the exact same car, just with the steering wheel and the pedals on the wrong side. The engine bay, is the same. Okay, here's a pro. Generally speaking, the current selection of imported right-hand drive cars, SW20s, are generally quite low mileage and very nice condition. So a pro of a right-hand drive car in general would be that they're in much nicer shape on the whole, and they are generally completely rust-free, which is amazing considering an island surrounded by salt water is where they're from. But yes, cons of working on right-hand drive MR2, I haven't come across any yet, but they are joyous. And even just in their stock Gen 2 form, which is what giveaway car number 6 is right now.
Nice.
They have a much better tune and a much better turbo, so they're almost depressingly better to drive than the USDM equipped Gen 2s.
Burgundy Burnouts. Hey, you're gonna get well acquainted with this guy.
Is that a WS6 Trans Am?
Oh, summoning. Yes. Well, does it have the snorkels? It has the big nostrils. Yeah. Don't know why my message didn't go through on the previous one. I'm gonna miss this one. Gotta drive home. Have fun though. Thanks, Burgundy Burnouts.
Burgundy Burnouts, you rock.
Hey, Mr. R, just finished listening to your 3-hour podcast. Oh, yeah, that was the one where Nick and I got drunk, and then we started doing WWF promos for a match that doesn't exist. Nick came here with a bottle of Glenlivet. And
12 or 15?
The box is still out there. Forget which green bottle.
Yeah, it's 12.
And we started making because David Patterson, the dude in blue, was also doing one, and I'm like, but we're doing one, you can't do one. And then the shirt comes off and the do-rag goes on and the sunglasses are on, and Nick is my promoter. And we're doing like,
did you guys do Randy Macho Man Savage? Oh yeah.
I kind of did a little bit of Rick the Nature Boy. But mixed in with like Rowdy Piper. Woo! Oh, Burgundy Burnout says it's a turbo V602 Firebird.
So I had the right vintage but wrong motor. But they didn't do factory turbo V6.
Oh, we have one of your customers. Diz Guy says, I have a prime swap. I couldn't be happier with the Gen 4. Fantastic engine.
Thanks, Diz Guy. I'm happy to hear that. If you let us know what your real name is, I'll shoot you a little care package.
Nice. One guy says more Saturn reviews, like the first gen S-Series. Yes, I want the very first Saturn. I want like 1990. I saw one at a Little League game that I was jogging by the other day, and it was choice. It was teal. It was fucking yes, this thing. I forget what GM engines it used. You could have them a single or double cam.
The early ones had single cam. My first car was a 93 gold on beige. Manual steer, manual windows, manual trans. That had a single cam 1.9. Made 80 horsepower when new.
Ooh.
But it had a supercharger. When you turn on the air conditioner, it could go up a hill. not with it on. Oh, this is a fun one. Alex Ocampo, 94 300ZX. Is it good or not?
I don't know my Z cars. Take it away.
Good question, Alex Ocampo. I actually had a 1991 black on black 300ZX twin turbo. I bought it because I thought it was really pretty, and I still maintain that it's really pretty. To work on, horrible. One of the worst engine bays ever. There's no room to do anything, and everything is packaged strangely. To drive, it drives like a GT car. If you've driven an MR2 or anything small and nimble, you would find the 300ZX heavy and lazy feeling. But if you're a highway cruiser guy, it's nice to cruise in.
Excellent. Moo asked, does the 25 years rule makes a concern for the JDM community? I'm not sure what that means. I know it's a blessing to import cars that are a rarity to bring out, but for the aftermarket, we'll have lots of scams and such. What's he?
So I think what Moo is asking is the domestic JDM world confused or concerned about the ready availability of JDM cars you can import now because of the 25-year rule. I, for one, am incredibly excited because the JDM cars are all better. Even if they seem like they're exactly the same, they're not. They generally always have a better tune, a better turbo. Like the giveaway car number 6 right now is a true JDM GT car, the loaded model. And those actually have little fun things like steerable fog lights, folding power mirrors.
Fuck off, steerable fog lights.
Yeah. Very fancy, very fancy. Automatic climate control. Yeah, in 1991. Oh, yeah.
Please don't break. Please don't break.
It was pimp. And they would never break because it's a 90s Toyota.
Oh. 262 SDH. Thanks for the $10, man. Justin, if I wanted to have the best second-gen turbo MR2, regardless of steering wheel location, what combination of engine... Oh, there's a loaded question. What combination of engine, turbo, transmission, and exhaust would you recommend and build, Morty?
262 SDH. That's a great question. The answer would be the cleanest Mark II that you can find as a chassis. Transmission-wise, I personally love the NA S54 trans because the gearing's more aggressive, so the car's faster. You can't launch it at a drag strip, but it will hold up to 300 wheel on a roll. As an engine, it's the Gen 4, or now the Gen 5, which is just a Gen 4 with a header feed, intake manifold, and some different injectors. Exhaust, always going to be the Burke exhaust if you want it to not be screaming in your ear. The Motorias are the super cheap ones. Great if you just want to have 3 inches of straight pipe in there because the cans are effectively hollow. They make great turbo noises, but they're incredibly loud. So it'd be a Gen 4 or Gen 5 3S GTE. For me, on a road car, it'd be the S54 NA trans, but you could go with the 153 turbo if you want to hit the drag strips. And then, throw in an electronic boost controller, 3-inch downpipe, 3-inch Burke exhaust, upgraded intercooler, you're good to go. 280 wheel, all the fun, all the reliability you want. And if you play like me on race slicks and race brakes at the track, you can beat on Porsches and Ferraris and things with people driving them that don't want to crash them.
Right. And intimidate them, get right up on their asses.
Oh yeah. They don't like when you get close. No.
Alexander, thanks for $5. NZ should have done a Hilux when in New Zealand. There will be RCR New Zealand Part 2 at some point. I don't know when. It's going to be years from now, but I hope to do it. Definitely a Toyota Hilux. They were everywhere. We kind of ignored them. We had our thing. My favorite was either the Celica with the road going version of the one with the cheater turbo, or the Century. The more that I think of it, I think the Century was definitely it came down to the wool interior of that.
Only in New Zealand.
Sad Boys, $5. Kanucky Stan. I love the 15-year rule in Canada. Yeah.
No one likes a bragger. I'm just kidding.
My Suzuki Key has been a fantastic, fuel-efficient, and fun car. I'll bet it has.
This guy's class.
Sad Boys. We talked more there about RCR Canada. And I don't want to call it RCR fuck Toronto, but I figure it's going to be RCR frickin' Kingston on the east side of the lake. Well, the east end of the lake. Because, we can go to... if you go to Toronto, you're going to America. Let's be honest. I want Canada. I want your Canada. So I think it's going to be RCR Kingston.
I got several Prime customers in here.
Oh yeah, you need to go back up.
Yeah, can you scroll up a little bit because 1 or 2 of them asked specific questions.
Kyle S. Been a long time Prime customer. Brought your first production Gen 4 water neck. Got my harness done from you as well. Or also. I was surprised by the quality. What a good surprise.
Kyle, was that surprised by the presence of quality or the absence of quality? I hope presence, because we work very hard to make them factory quality.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I think there was
Would RCR ever trade his Falcon for a Mopar? No. No.
How dare you? Can you ban people on this?
Here's the thing, though. You asked about cars in my history. My uncle used to own a Chrysler dealership in the 90s.
Really?
In the 80s and 90s.
Chrysler.
Oh, yeah. And that's how I got... I love Mopar. They're trying, and even though they're FCA, I want them to succeed. I don't want anybody to fail. But my uncle got out of the... He sold his Chrysler dealership in like 2006. That was
good timing.
Yeah, it was. He saw it. It was a combination of him aging
and the writing on the wall.
Yeah. The
Well
whole Daimler
done, sir.
thing. Yeah, I saw my first Viper in his showroom. The
Gen 1 Viper.
Gen 1 Viper.
Do you remember the TV show?
Yes.
Oh, with the silver hard top on 4x4 tires. Oh, it's incredible.
It was a Knight Rider ripoff, man.
Yeah, it was. But with no hassle to Hoff.
Oh.
Because you cannot hassle the Hoff.
No.
I'm sorry, I don't mean to jack the thread here.
Yes, okay.
I had one customer ask about an electronic boost controller. I think that was Juan Del Rio. Sorry, guys. I didn't want to miss... There he is.
Prime customer here. Justin, you said electronic launch controller. What do you recommend?
That's electronic boost controller, Juan. We run the Turbo Smart EBC, the e-boost on our website. Super simple to set up, and it works like a charm.
Timothy Kobelia, thanks for $5, man. Will Mr. Regular's diary ever be coming back? Yeah, I've written a bit of it. Lately, this is summertime and this is prime car show time.
It is prime time.
So I am, and it's prime RCR time. And I haven't been riding much. Lately, I've been hiking a lot on the Appalachian Trail, and I haven't been riding. I kind of thought I would maybe in 2020 try to perform a through hike. I know I keep saying 2020, maybe it'll be 2021. And I don't know, write just a foul book, because I love competition. And there's A Walk in the Woods, which is the Appalachian Trail novel book.
Okay.
And I want to blow that book out of the water. And I say that not even having read A Walk in the Woods, but I'll buy it.
Principle.
I'll buy it on Amazon. I'll write this, and I'm looking like, I bet I can make something that's going to kick this book's ass. I'm going to take all the drugs I can, because the AT is full of them, and just let that pen rip. Darone maxed out. Thanks for $5, man. I have a first gen Scion TC. I wonder if they'll become classic. I don't know. But the mileage per gallon is crappy and the car is slow. Well, unfortunately, I'm thinking of getting a first generation XB. Well, so you want something that's slower than a Toyota Echo? What are your options? I mean, if you want a license, okay, throw the XT a bone. We don't have mini trucks here anymore. We don't have the Chevy Love anymore, which was really an Isuzu. And those little square things. Sad Boy says, I'll bring my key to Kingston. Looking forward to it. Yeah, do it. Again, we'll know more after we get done with RCR Chicago and maybe RCR Raleigh. Because there's a guy with a Tesla Model 3 that I want to know what the hype and what the fitment is, and I haven't seen one in real life yet. So.
I haven't seen one in person yet. The Model S is badass, and the Model X is got celebration mode, which is the coolest thing I've ever seen.
Yeah.
But yeah. The 3 I have not seen yet.
2X2 SDH, thanks for another $5, man. Hey, Mr. Regular, when will there be more videos with Justin Kramer? We were just talking about it before the show. I want more follow-up to the hearing aid brown diesel. Oh, he sold that car.
Hearing aid brown.
Diesel Volkswagen Bravit, yeah.
It's one of my favorite colors.
They were getting that little thing to roll coal too.
That's actually what I call it. Is that what people call it in the VW world, or is that just him calling it that color? Did Justin Kramer call it that color?
No, he just called it brown.
Okay, because hearing aid brown is I call it hearing aid beige.
Mm-hmm.
That's on a lot of like the modern cars right now. I don't understand that color.
Yeah. It hides dirt.
Because it is dirt.
My Subaru is beige, and I like it for that reason. It also blends into everything that's around it.
Is that beige or metallic gold?
You are right. Subaru calls that Sierra Gold.
I think Toyota
it's beige.
Has a sandstorm beige or something. Yeah,
it's tan.
It's tan.
If you want to know what up with what's up with Justin Kramer, go to his YouTube channel. Fuel Injection Sucks, and he is working on a 1978 Winnebago Turbo LS swap.
Oh, this I must see.
Oh, it's an hour north of there at his shop.
Oh, we're going.
Yeah,
we're going.
He bought it from a guy. Oh, the interior is fucking. Oh, it's brilliant. It's got the division between the living quarters and the like the bathroom shower area is those beads that hang down. It's brown on brown carpet.
Do we have velour or shag pile?
Oh, hell yeah. Oh, it is thick. 1970s bush. But yeah, I want Justin Kramer sitting in this seat because he's always a fun time. I answered that. It was the same question, right? Up there. Oh, VW Bush. Thanks for $5, man. Message redacted. Reason sheep fornication.
I don't know what that means, but I like him.
We reviewed a sheep while in New Zealand. And we reviewed it as if it was a car and like using car terms. And it was fun. Matthew Doherty, you trying competing with Joe Rogan's podcast? Why is he podcasting now? Well, it's probably 3 PM in LA. So we have a guy from again talking back and forth with a guy from On It, and they have a food truck in Austin, and I shot him an email and said, we could film this at Harris Hill Raceway if you want to drive a food truck around a racetrack. I said, I'm not going to try it. Canda D. Cole says, long-time listener, first-time caller. I live in rural Australia. Hello, from Australia. And my only vehicle is a Jeep TJ. Oh, they sold them there? Please wax nostalgic about its classless nature. Okay. This isn't my joke, but if a girl is 18 to 23 years old and her dream car is a Jeep, she a hoe. I love the TJ. I think it's the last of the legitimate Jeeps. The Wrangler, the tiny little thing. But let's be honest, that engine's dog shit. That AMC derived straight six is crap. Drop an LS in there, you'll get more power and you'll get better mileage. I mean, there were 2 guys on the smoking tire, or a couple on the smoking tire, who were, Jeep purists, and they go on these rally adventures and sleep and camp and everything, and says, dude, put an LS in there. You're going to get better mileage and you're going to get more power. That old cross flow straight six, it have TBI injection. It's just like old 1970s crap that has been warmed over since the 90s. Meanwhile, Toyota is just that was the okay. One thing. Scully Trail $2 says, thoughts on the Chevy Camaro IROC Z. Thoughts on having a mustache. Okay. We'll have to meld in thoughts of Camaro IROC Z, because that also is Toyota's. That's like the high technology American domestic stuff at the same time, because the IROC Z is the 80s, meets Toyota of the 80s. And you get into the interior of those Camaros, and you touch the dash and everything moves and it feels all crinkly, and the buttons have the like even on new, like stuff like the electric window switches have that weeble wobble to them. They're not in there. You get in an AW11, everything's tight. It's not moving around.
One of the stories I loved about Lexus, when they put out the LS, they had a guy, his only job was to check the exact sound when you pushed each button in the car. And if it didn't make that sound, it failed and they had to fix it.
Fuck off.
And they still sound exactly like that. Yeah, that was 1991, to be fair.
Yeah.
But developed in the 80s, though.
Yeah, that's the thing you talk about when you talk about interiors. It's not just how it sounds and it feels on your butt. It matters to your fingers. Yeah. And that's why like
the mush button versus the click button.
Yeah.
Versus like the German, which is kind of like a massage. Just massage the button. They always have texture to them.
Oh yeah, and that GM stuff where it's all shiny. Mm-hmm. It feels like it's a new car, but it has this touch that somebody just polished it with the same rag that they just wiped spaghetti off of their mouth from. Dan Dunlop says, "Hey, Mr. R, have you ever used psychedelics as a form of meditation or inspiration? It may be worth looking into while on the Appalachian Trail." Well, Mary Jane is Mary Jane, but the only psychedelic I've done was salvia when that was legal in Pennsylvania, and I actually got some writing out of it. Salvia makes you fuck all high for like 5 minutes, and then it's not recreational in the same way that marijuana is, but they say that's as close as you can get to DMT without doing DMT. You are definitely on another planet. The sensation of doing salvia is having kind of like a waking dream, but you're still awake. You're getting both realities at the same time. And also whatever synapses are responsible for motor control, you know how when you sleep, when you run in your dream, you're not really running in real life. That sort of kicks on. So you better be on a couch or lying down when you do it, because you're going to go all jelly roll on you. So yes, I have done psychedelics. I've never done acid though, and I don't know if I want to, because they say that lasts a real long time. 262 SDH says, "Have the police cracked down on people trying to visit Centralia?" Supposedly yes, but I haven't seen anybody out there. We filmed in Centralia like twice. I think you and Nick mentioned it as on previous podcast. There are posted signs. You're not supposed to hang around up there, but it's a question of they don't really have the manpower, because Centralia doesn't have a police force, and they don't really send anybody from Ashland up there. So what they really want to crack down on is people partying, like bush parties. They do that in Jersey.
Define bush party.
Go into the woods, have a campfire, and bring 2 cases of beer and get shit-faced.
I had a different vision when you
said, said bush party.
So that's yes, we have those in New Jersey.
I've never been to the Pine Barrens. That's a checkbox I have to check.
Yeah, the New Jersey Devil supposedly lives there.
Yeah,
I've not seen him, but I feel like we'd be friends.
Because race car. Thanks for $10, man. What are your thoughts on the... Geez, we have a Toyota guy right here, and you're asking me Volkswagen questions.
I got thoughts on that, though.
All right. What are your thoughts on the Mark-5 Gti? Also, have you ever considered doing RCR does H2O in Ocean City? Honestly, I haven't, because I don't like confrontation, and that's like fist fight and get pulled over central, and I don't like being around those bad vibes. I have no plans to ever go to H2O. Even though people say it's fun, you get a hotel and you watch the madness, I don't have any plans. So, thoughts on the Mark-5 Gti?
My thoughts are the chassis is excellent. The motor, while it will make power with bolt-ons via many packages from APR that I've seen friends use, they do not have a PCV system. So they blow their rings out every 60,000 miles. So you don't have to re-ring it. You can just put oil in at every fuel fill-up, which a friend of mine does, at a whole 100,000 miles now. The Toyota's just getting broken in at that point, to be clear. But I mean, as a car, I think it's a good car. They're certainly nice to drive, and they're quick, and you can make them very quick. But as reliability goes, being a Toyota guy myself, I would never buy one, even if someone handed one to me for free.
No positive crankcase ventilation.
Mm-hmm. I just decided it wasn't necessary because then you wouldn't have to come back into the dealer and pay them to put new rings in. And that would just be dumb.
Okay. Okay. Motorcycles have that little tube that just dumps on the ground.
Mm-hmm.
That is a way that the crankcase can vent. Sometimes it goes through a little Scotch-Brite kitchen thing.
Filter,
yeah.
Sponge. Yeah.
And sometimes you'll get a few drops on the ground.
Mm-hmm.
Really? I didn't know they didn't do that.
No, that's why they blew through rings. Because so interesting fun fact: one of our old friends had an MR2 that he put a Gen 4 in.
Okay.
And he decided that he was going to tuck or block off his PCV vent tube from the valve cover. I mean, ours is just literally, it's just got a valve on the top of the valve cover and then a vent tube off the side goes back into the intake because you need vacuum on it.
Yeah.
And he decided he was going to block it off to tuck it, to clean it up. And the first time he hit the throttle, you've never seen, it looked like it was a diesel.
Really?
And so he immediately put it back in because that was all that will getting thrown past his rings. Luckily, it was like 2 pulls and he fixed it, so he didn't break his motor.
If you're
it was a Toyota motor, so yeah.
If you're that hard up about blocking off your PCV, just put a catch can. The Falcon runs a catch can.
Well,
every now and again, you just drain it, and out comes oatmeal, and you put it in your jug with the rest of your crap oil, and
yeah, we went on the early Gen 4s. We went super simple. We didn't even run the PCV. This is technically not correct, but because we were rebels and we wanted to test if we could blow up a Gen 4 on the track, we just put a filter on the PCV vent tube. Didn't run it back into the intake, so it wasn't getting vacuum like it was supposed to. So at the track on full slicks at like 2.5 Gs lateral. We did get some blow by, coming out the side, and we opened up the engine lid. We're like, "Oh my god, something's leaking!" Oh, it's just oil. Just put some more in there. It's fine.
Timothy Kobilia, I don't know this designation of an engine unless you explain it more. Thoughts on the 1MZ FE 3-liter V6? Is that the one that's in the Accord?
No, this is a Toyota motor. This is in the Camry or any other V6 Toyota from that vintage. That would be early 2000s. Yeah, so the 1MZ FE 3-liter V6, Timothy Kobiela. Or Kobiela.
I'm going to open a window because I'm getting a little hot.
It is hot in here. That was a good choice before you had the options of Gen 3s, Gen 4, and Gen 5 3S GTEs. When you only had the option of a USDM Gen 2, the 1MZ was obviously more responsive, same horsepower, roughly the same torque. The issue with a V6 in an MR2, this is in an MR2, I assume you're asking, is in a Camry, it's perfectly fine. It'll run till the end of time like any other Toyota motor from the 90s or early 2000s. But in an MR2, it's a whole lot of work for something that, without massive custom fabrication skills, you cannot make any more than the bone stock 200 horsepower in. Whereas any 3S GTE will make, Gen 2 will make, 230, 240, 250 wheel if you're really working it. A Gen 3, Gen 4 will go up to the low 300 wheels with just, boost controllers and, little intercooler exhaust downpipe setup. So in an MR2, I don't see the value unless you're doing it all yourself and you want to do it as cheaply as possible and just have a V6 MR2 to be different. Nothing wrong with that. Just if you're paying someone to do it, no.
There was someone on the Smoking Tire who had a SW20.
That was 2GR, the White Stallion.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was the 3.5 out of the minivan.
Meredith says, no question, money for beer. We're spending it right now. Let me know when you want another one, Justin. The Real Newman, speaking of 90s, what are fun words you can make by rearranging Toyota? That question was worth $10 for you. I'm not knocking you. Thanks for $10, man. What words can you remake for? I'm an English major. I don't know how to play Boggle.
Yo Tato? Yo Toda? Yo Yoda? I've never
Uta Waiti.
Yito.
Thanks for $10, man. I wish I could offer you more of that other than thanks for watching the stream. Archduke Maxiento, thanks for $5, man. could you tell if Steph is that duck, not a chicken? Steph Schrader often carries Puffalump, little stuffed animals she takes with her racing, and also hands to F1 drivers when she's covering a race. And it's sort of like a very unique way for her to get to the front of the line.
I love it.
And ask them questions.
Pattern interrupt.
Oh, we were talking. Yeah. She claims that her Puffalump is rally chicken, which she does. She takes that to rallies. But it's clearly a duck, sincerely Archduke. Well, I guess it's a bird. Or you can just call it a burb, and then it's all burbs. All birds. Thanks for your question, man. Based Emoto says, I currently drive a 2000 Volvo S80 T6. I'm thinking of either a 2000, I guess
something, yeah,
the 2010 Subaru WRX Impreza, man, or a Golf GTI with a DSG. What do you think? Do you have to carry passengers? Because that's going to be the ultimate thing. Do you have a significant other who isn't into cars and is going to have to live with this thing, either driving it themselves or getting rides in it? If so, you're going to go with the Golf. But if it's just you, man, and you want to drive around holding your dick, you go with the WRX. You're going to have a lot of fun. Thoughts?
I mean, I don't know how I could follow that.
Thank you, Base. Thanks for the $5. Oh.
Well, baller.
Actually, thanks for $20, man. Huge fan of your show. Highlight of Monday after work. Your review of the Fiesta ST sold me on one. I love it. Have a drink on me. All right, man. I'm almost done with Loose Cannon. I'll be ready for beer number 2 soon. We've been at this for 40 minutes so far. Definitely time for another beer. Thanks so much. We may have to close that window. We're going to get the Harley guys. I'm off for work.
America!
Witness me.
Survey.
I have no back pressure at all. I got drag pipes. So I either spend all my time at 1,000 RPM or what? Harleys top out at like 5.1, I think or something like that.
Yeah.
Some of those guys bore them out to 2 liters. 2 liters. Oof. They can get that thing that... Anyway.
That's my engine.
2 cylinders. 1,000 cc's for each of them. Question. All right. Jack London says, what suspension upgrade, why ride quality and handling? So you want better ride quality or you want handling? Do you recommend for the SW20 3S GT if it makes a difference? Coilovers, TN, or standard upgrades like Bilstein's B6, etc.
Interesting. So Jack London is 3S GE. So I assume he's not of the United States. Because I don't know why you would put a 3S GE in a domestic car, but maybe you did. I don't know. Could be beams. Could be red top beams. Suspension upgrade, ride quality, handling. Yeah, I mean, we run the BC coilovers on everything for $9.99. They're impossible to beat for the value. On full soft, they ride very well. Bilstein's actually ride stiffer, FYI, and the TNs will run stiffer unless you are running the flexes. But the flexes are more expensive than the BCs, and they're much less reliable to get from our suppliers. So yet another reason we run the BCs. I think there was another. Sorry.
Yeah, someone said I think you missed a super chat question. I'm gonna see if I can get to him through my phone.
Okay.
Little ones that went by. Thoughts on Moto Guzzi? I like the way they sound. I had a Honda CX something, the Honda Guzzi.
Yes.
That had the longitudinal V. Thoughts on Moto Guzzi? I think they're very fashionable. I don't have a high opinion of them because Honda did it better. And they had a counter-rotating transmission that eliminated all of the torque steer out of those bikes. Will you ever get to review a Bieber bus? No one's going to hand me the thing that's City Bus. Bieber is a busing company out of Kutztown, Pennsylvania.
Oh, not a Justin Bieber bus.
No, they've been around since like the 70s.
Okay.
That's got it. Bieber is a name just like anybody else's, and they they run daily rides to New York City. So whenever I have to go to the city, I just drive to Kutztown, it's like $53 round trip, and you don't have to come back the same day. Just whenever, come back. I am going to check my phone to see if on my phone it will list all the super chats I might have missed. Justin, feel free to answer any questions that are going by in the window.
There was one earlier. I think it was what can I make with full built motor and on a Gen 3 or something like that. I don't know if I saw all the details, but I'm gonna need a lot more information to tell you what kind of power you can make, what fuel you're running, what boost you're running, what turbo you're running, standalone, ECU, fuel, all that stuff. Can I scroll this?
Yeah. If you need to go back up.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can do it.
Okay.
You can just tap up.
Do that? Okay.
I am looking at my phone to see. I know when I'm on my laptop, I could be doing in this. It'll show me all the super chats as they go by. But I wonder if I can do it in my phone.
There he is. Evil Bear. What kind of power would you expect a fully built big turbo 3rd Gen 3 SGT to make the wheels? Yeah, I need boost pressure, turbo, fuel. Big turbo, let's assume you're talking like a Precision 62 or something like that. Yeah, if you have a motor that can handle it and fuel system can handle it, you can make, 500-600 wheel.
Really?
Yeah, you're gonna blow it up at some point, unless he has a 5S 98 plus 5S block, in which case they'll hold up to a little bit more. But there's some guys that will do fills. They'll fill the block in order to make it stronger.
What does fill the block mean?
I don't actually know what I think it's concrete they use. They basically fill the water jackets to make it so that it doesn't have the weakness between the cylinder wall and the water jacket.
Okay, how's it cool itself then?
Well, not effectively.
Okay.
Generally, like drag cars.
Okay.
Cooling is not an issue. That's how I understand it. I am not an expert on massive power MR2s because, in my experience, they don't work very often.
Did you see that video? There's a GIF going around of an SW20 that just stands up on its rear tires and then falls again. Did you ever see that?
That may have been one of the Turbo K cars.
Okay.
Because I've seen them do that.
Yeah.
They're making 900, 1,000 wheels.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's like...
Yeah.
Yeah. Wait, we have no weight in the front of our cars.
Nuka-Cola, thanks for $10, man. Hey, Mr. R, it was nice meeting you and talking to you for a bit at Nationals. Oh, yeah. Thanks, man. I met a few people there. Thanks so much. Were you hanging out at the Falcon? That's where for a while, I got tired from all the heat and everything, and I just sort of laid down on the ground, or I was laying in the back of it, and I was trying to drink instant coffee. It just wasn't working. Kitty X sends us 100 rubles.
Is that rubles? Or
rubles? Rubles?
Is rubles Russian?
Yes.
Rupees Indian, right?
I think so. I
don't know.
I don't know
if that's correct.
You don't have to be from Russia to donate Russian currency. You can type in anything and it'll do the conversion, but it'll say what it would be.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Uncle Pap says, number one, why haven't you reviewed an OBS Chevy style truck? I don't know what OBS means. 88 to 99. What are your thoughts on the Ford Maverick?
Ooh.
Everyone at the show's mom has owned one. Well, okay, the Maverick was the Focus.
Yeah.
The Maverick replaced the Falcon as their cheap family tiny car. You can get the Maverick as a 2-door or a 4-door, just like the Falcon. One guy at the gym worked out, had like 2 of them. He said they were completely shit and they overheated and they had no power, and he misses all of them dearly. I need to know more about the Maverick because that car predates the 2.3 Lima. I don't know when, off the top of my head, when Ford created the 2.3 Lima. Yeah, that block. Its lineage carries today into the Focus and everything else.
Yeah. Was that the one, the block in the SVOs of the late 70s?
Yeah. With the turbo?
Yeah.
The 2.3 was a
That's what I
great
know.
little
That's
engine. You could make power with them, and some people do. I think it's a greater engine really than the Windsor, because it powered a lot of small things. The Windsor is just, a small block that, because of legacy and everything, they had no reason to stop it. Joseph West or Benjamin?
Benjamin.
Love the show. I have a Infiniti Q5 3-liter turbo with an APR Stage 1. If you reviewed my car, would I be portrayed as a dad in denial? See, when I see like old Infinitis or like past their prime Infinitis, I just think drug dealer. I just think like guy who just dishes out bad coke.
Oh, is that I thought he was talking about an Audi.
Oh, is it an Audi Q5?
Well, I don't know.
I don't know.
Because they do the 3.0T.
Okay, so it's an Audi.
Supercharged, but they call it a T. I don't
Oh.
know why. That's what the S4, the last.
Oh, okay.
I'm not sure, because he said APR, and APR is typically German.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Then yeah, you are a dad.
Then yes,
you are
the
a dad in
answer is
denial. You already had a baby, but it hasn't quite affected your life yet, because the baby isn't yet 1 year old. All it does is suckle and poo, and the poo doesn't smell yet. So you haven't really. It's a dad who has yet. It's a car for a dad who has yet to develop his 1,000-yard stare. 1,000-yard grocery stare. Dietrich Hoffer said Ford Pinto engine was first produced in 1970, started with 1.3-liter displacement. So yeah, the Maverick I think was. Wait, then that would meant that the Maverick started at the same time the Pinto motor. Huh? Because Falcon stopped in the United States in 1970 and a half.
Was that one?
Yeah, there was there was either third or fourth gen that we just got, and it is essentially an Australian Falcon. We had it for half a year.
Really?
It's called the Falcon GT.
Huh.
It's totally Aussie. I don't know. I've never seen one, but supposedly they exist out there.
Interesting.
Of course, the 25 years is long past, so have your XB Falcon and, Valhalla.
Yeah.
The actual team, Ryan, thanks for $10, man. Mr. Regular, I have multiple cars. Should I submit them in one mass or as an individual emails for each car? When I meet someone who has multiple cars, my first question is, are they yours or are they really your dad's? That you have access to. And if, in fact, they are yours with your name on the title, put the most important one to you in the title of the email, and underneath all of that, include the other cars. You know the drill. In the title of the email, year, make, model, city, state. Sawdust Man in the regular chat says i6 or 302 cubic inch V8 in the Maverick. I guess he's saying you can get either one of those. That sounds, and I guess probably for
statement of fact.
Yeah. For smog, it would have had the Pinto motor, but the Pinto motor would make almost the same power as a straight six in those days, because it would be the same Thriftmaster 200 that goes all the way back to the 60s, and probably still running the single barrel Polycarb. In fact, I know it does, because Justin Kramer in his first retreat from Moscow was running like an 82 Ford LTD that was running the 200 Thriftmaster in 82, still with a carburetor, running an 80s car. I'm like, and now it's all choked to hell with and it has power steering and all this stuff. I'm like, 3-speed auto, no overdrive. And I'm like, holy shit, Ford didn't change crap from 1967, and they're still running it in the 80s. Meanwhile, in 82, Japan, oh man.
I think I don't have a lot. I know some, classic American stuff from growing up as a car fella, but the epiphany to me about American engineering prowess or progress.
Yeah.
Sorry, was when I found out having to do some suspension some control arm bushings on a '04 Mach 1.
Yeah.
That they're the same from 1979 to 2004. Honestly. Fight like a woman. Who throws a shoe anyway? Sorry, that's all topic. Seriously. The MR2 doesn't have the same control arm bushings after a 5-year period of time. This was a 25-year? Yeah, 25-year period of time.
What is your opinion on the Barra Straight 6? Well, we never got it in the U.S. I like a well-designed Straight 6. Should Ford have brought the engine to the USA? Very good question. I also own a 2004 330i. Should I supercharge it? No. Get yourself an M3 because you can spend all your money souping up a 330 and what you end up is an M3. Also, would you be willing to review a 1965 Cobra 427 replica? You know the deal. Send me an email. But anyway, Barra Straight 6. I think the reason... two reasons why we never got the Barra Straight 6. One is a logistical one. That would mean a whole nother warehouse for Ford, or multiple warehouses to store all these extra parts, a whole division to make new American part numbers. You'd be surprised how much that costs.
Mm-hmm.
And now you're going to have suppliers, and our distributors going to want a whole extra shelves for all this stuff when they just have the Ford small block that's going to do maybe the same stuff. I mean, the Barra, okay, is more advanced than the Windsor ever was, but and another reason, and I think it's an imagery reason for Americans, the Straight 6 was always a base motor. Mm-hmm. You look at all American stuff, if it comes with a Straight 6, that's a woman's motor. I mean, and later 4 cylinders kind of became that, but Toyota stopped that and made 4 cylinders that actually ran.
That's right.
And so Straight 6s never really came back. I mean, Chevy's doing the Straight 5 in the base model Colorado, and
which I believe is a Suzuki engine.
For real?
I was told by a friend of mine. I'm no authority on Chevy Colorados, but he told me, and I was like, I'm not surprised. It's actually basically a Suzuki truck, because a guy came in and asked me to do wheel bearings on one of them one time, the 4-wheel drive.
Yeah.
And the wheel bearings are not American style. It's ridiculous, insane. Like, it's like $2,000 parts and labor to do them.
Shit.
But like half of that is the bearings, and then the other half is all the time. Like, you have to take like the whole car apart.
Man.
Yeah. So I believe it is actually a Suzuki badged as a Chevy.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah. I could be wrong. I often am.
Well, American. Toyota did the same stuff all the way back to the 70s. As Chevy loved as a Subaru pickup truck.
The Geo Metro had a Toyota motor in it. Wasn't a Toyota, but yeah. Oh, look at this guy.
One fun. The first time I did wheel hub bearings on my Toyota Echo, they didn't come off, so I just got a 10-pound sledge. I took the bolts off and it's rusted on. I'm like some forum said, it's Toyota. Hit it. Boom, boom. It took 2 hits. It was my Toyota Echo with like 160,000 miles out in all weather. It just boom and it fall off. Okay, get out the wheel, clean it up. New one in, eBay. eBay mode.
Toyota.
Yeah, it's fine. And then I wrecked that. I missed that car. Fisher 0254 says, found a Mark 1 MR2. Okay, Mark 1A or B? Ooh. I'm going to say A. With 280,000 miles, but no rust, says the owner.
Yeah.
Seller said he would take 500 for it. It's got rust.
Does it have any sheet metal left? Better.
Do I have blood on my hands for not saving it? Well, what did you do? Did you not take it? Do I have blood on my hands for not saving it? I think he passed on it. If he passed, I'd say sure.
For not saving it. Yeah, I mean, a Mark 1 with 280K with no rust, I've never heard of or seen, and I've seen and heard of most. But do you have blood on your hands for passing on it? No. You would have rust on your hands, not passed on it, and a ridiculously large repair bill of parts that we can no longer get. So you're good. You're in the clear.
Justin has told me stories about people who come in and with like a Mark 1 shell and just say, well, it just needs an engine. And your answer is...
No, it doesn't. Yes, Mark 1 or Mark 2. The Mark 2s is the most common when we were doing the Gen 4 swaps in mass. I'll take another one if you're grabbing it.
Yeah.
When we were doing the Mark 2 Gen 4 swaps in mass, a very common scenario is guys would come after they had pulled their motor and decided, I don't know if I want to do this. Or bought a car like that. And they'd say, well, I just need a new motor put in. And if you bought a shell or have a shell, that is the least of what you need, dollars-wise, time-wise, and energy-wise. The motor, with any engine swap, the motor is the cheapest part of the swap. It's the single largest cost, but it is the cheapest part of the swap. A Gen 4 3H GT swap is going to be a $1,200 motor, and then $2,000, $3,000, $4,000, $5,000 of other parts, depending on what you're doing and what chassis you're putting it into. But yeah, no, shells, just say no. And we did, unfortunately. We wanted to help everybody, but even we can only help so many people.
Well, we've been going this for an hour. Surprisingly, not drinking that much. But we got, I bought Unita Brewing Hop Nosh IPA, so I'm on my second IPA, also 7.3. Where's this made? I mean, it looks straight out of Vermont because it's green. Unita Brewing, loaded. Unita Brewing. Oh, Salt Lake City, Utah. Hey, I'm all about that.
I have here the Lancaster Double Chocolate Milk Stout. That's a stout brewed with cocoa nibs and natural flavors added, in case you were wondering. That's this little delicious piece of beverage. And I've never had it before. So you
in Ta says VO Noob. I wonder, are you from Salt Lake? Or Utah in general? It's clear for an IPA. Brad Nielsen, thanks for the $1. Nice, man. Casual businessmen say they make hop nosh with grapefruit and it's wonderful. I don't mind a sweet beer or a fruity beer. Cheers, man. Cheers. Adam Sanchez Morano with an unusual donation of $6.88. I wonder if that's a reference to something. Says 2 beers, or plus 2 beers. Or maybe that's an average cost for beer. I own a JDM 93 MR2 GTS with TRD parts. What should I do to improve or preserve it without ruining a nice low mile example? As an example, should I resto mod? You sort of asked 2 things here.
Yeah.
Okay, well let's if we can answer anything, we answer the first. What would you do to improve a JDM 93 MR2 GTS?
Yeah, so I'm not sure which TRD parts you have. I assume maybe strut braces, sway bars, maybe the coilovers. I don't know if this is a guy who is in America or not in America.
How are our volume levels doing, by the way? I've been messing with them a little bit because we go loud and soft. I have a little VU meter here in OBS, but I have Justin potted down a little bit lower than me because he tends to talk a little bit louder. I'm just trying to get balance here. Ba ba ba. See, that's peaking. Ba ba. Oh, that's a super peak. Sorry about that. I'm trying to get it so the bars only go like 3/4 of the way there. Anyways, so let us not. Justin is not as loud as me. Okay, I am giving Justin half a click more.
I mean, I can just go louder. I was trying to be quiet.
They want Justin louder. Okay, no, you go at the same pace.
Okay.
As I was. I just potted you up. I just gained your mic up a little bit more.
Okay. Because I can go loud if you want.
Me, let's go. Me talking. Now you say something.
Me talking.
Me talking.
Me talking.
They go about, the bars going about the same rate. Okay, we're good.
Okay, so yeah, what would you do to improve, preserve it without ruining a nice low mileage example? Yeah, exactly that. I'm going to assume it's basically just, some struts, some strut bars, some sway bars. If it doesn't have suspension, just a nice little lowering spring, a Tanabe and Ibach Pro kit, a set of Coney yellows, BPU, you can always reverse. So BPU, basic performance upgrades. So downpipe, intercooler, exhaust, boost controller. You get a bunch of extra power, 40, 50, 60 wheel. Excuse me. But you can always take them back off. That's what we recommend for most of our customers who have very nice, very low mileage cars. It's also what we do when we have very nice, low mileage cars. So keep it simple. And, don't do anything you can't undo. It's not a lot you can't undo, really, on an MR2, unless you're hacking things in or cutting wiring up or something like that. But keep it simple. Downpipe, exhaust, boost controller, intercooler. Call it a day.
He says it's in Seattle as an import, which...
okay. So he's in America with an imported 93. Yeah, I mean, the imported 93 is a extremely nice car to begin with. So, yeah, keep it simple. Downpipe, exhaust, intercooler, boost controller. Any other brakes, suspension stuff you want to do, you can just bolt on or bolt off. Even our big brake kits, you bolt it on or you just bolt it off and bolt your stock one back on.
We have a question here from Jordan Herbert, a lemons question.
Oh, hey, Jordan.
Oh, you know?
Oh, yeah. Jordan's a longtime customer.
Justin, what motor should I run in my AW11 race car for reliability in Lemons Racing? Currently building I don't know what this is.
7A4A hybrid. Yeah.
What's a 7A4A?
7A FE 4A GE hybrid. Jordan, my friend, please. Neither. The AW11, we actually had this conversation before he bought the car. He had two SW20s. I think he finally sold one of them, but the one he bought is a bone stock 91 nautical blue, 11,000 miles he bought it with. Just like beautiful survivor car. But just like when you asked me originally via email if you should buy the Mark 1, the AW11, and I told you, please God, no, because even I can't get parts for them. The motor wise, the most reliable engine will be the bone stock motor, and unfortunately that motor is now 30 plus years old, so there is no most reliable engine. If you want to get technical, and in Lemons you can do this and just suffer penalty laps, you can do a Mark 1.5 swap on it with a Gen 4. That will be reliable, but you will never accrue any kind of meaningful points or laps because they'll give you 1,000 penalty laps or 1,000,000 penalty laps. Lemons loves, they do, it's all a joke. So you roll up with one guy rolled up with a CL 600 Mercedes one time. And he said, well, it's $500. And he said, no, it's not. And he said, yeah, it is. I bought it for $5,000. The seats were each $1,500, blah, blah, blah. I got it all the way down. Jay Lamb, who started and runs Lemons, said, okay, I don't believe you. I'm taking your car. They used to do that. They used to actually take your car if they didn't believe you or you couldn't prove that it was under the dollar amount. Now they just penalize you. So one guy showed up in like a brand new RX-8. Not brand new, like a 5-year-old one. Yeah. And they just gave him 1,000,000 penalty laps. So it doesn't matter if your car's good. You're never going to catch up. We don't do 1,000,000 laps in our 24-hour race. Yeah, Jordan, no, you don't have any reliable options in a Mark 1. I'm sorry.
Joseph West says, have you guys seen the new Mercedes pickup truck yet? Thanks for $2, man. No, is it based on the G-Wagon? Or is this some like Toyota Avalanche or Toyota, or I'm sorry, Honda Ridgeline thing? Have you heard this?
No. Is it a Sprinter with a bed? I mean, the Sprinter's a van. I don't know.
Seems logical.
It is rear-wheel drive, though, the Sprinter.
What do you call a pickup truck whose sides fold down on the bed to make like a flatbed?
A good time?
Yeah.
I don't know. We've exceeded my expertise.
It's like a steak bed, but the sides of the bed are all on hinges. Anyway, Nikolai Bacavo, thanks for $10, man. People keep coming to People keep coming to us. People keep coming up to us at meets and say that isn't an AE86, it's an AE88. I know, I made a big deal about this in my AE86 review. Because we drive a Corolla GTS cars. We know they're the same. Are they? But we hear it every meet. Care to correct the fanboys? Well, first of all, your steering wheel is on the incorrect side. It was sold in the wrong country. And it has a different VIN number, doesn't it? Oh, wait, it has a VIN number. Thoughts on the Corolla GTS versus Sprinter Truino? Are they the same car?
Juicy.
Think about that for a second. We will get back to this.
Another customer.
Oh, another customer has a question.
Yes, Joshua Landis. If memory serves, he has a red wide-body SW20, and he says, hey, Joshua. Hey, my brother has an MR2 Spider, but the 1ZZ motor keeps blowing. What should we do to make the 1ZZ more reliable? Great question, and the only talking point on what's the most reliable MR2 when you said it was the Mark III Spider. You are correct, mostly due to age and simplicity. In a post-03 Spider, when they had fixed the pre-cat issue, 2000, 2001, 2002, they had a pre-cat issue, which would destroy the rings. It would get ingested back into the motor, blow the rings, and then blow the motor. The pre-cats would break up. They were basically too fragile, and because of all the heat coming off the combustion on the exhaust side.
Can you explain to me what a pre-cat is?
A pre-cat is literally like the world's tiniest cat in one of the header tubes. Right off the motor, like 2 inches from combustion. So they would break up. It only happened in the MR2 1ZZ, interestingly. Did not happen in the Corolla because it was technically a different motor, even though its architecture was the same. But yeah, if you put in a 1ZZ motor that is a pre-03, just gut the pre-cats beforehand, which you just take a screwdriver and stick it up there and break it up. It literally, it couldn't be easier. Or throw on
it up like a hornet's nest.
Or throw on a set of headers. And that will solve the problem if you don't already have 80,000 or more miles on the motor, in which case it already has ring damage and it's now going to die a slow death. If you have pre-80,000 mile 1ZZ, 2000 to 2002, and you gut the pre-cats or put a header on, it will survive till the better part of forever.
That's a good line. It survives the better part of forever.
Thanks, man. Just came up with
it. That is a good line. So, we're back to the Corolla GTS versus Toyota AE86 Sprinter Truino. I think a little bit is sweet lemons or sour grapes. I can't afford the tofu tax, so I bought a Corolla GTS from somebody's dad.
Or granddad.
Yeah. Oh, it's just a fun kind of... This was our zippy car.
It was very zippy. I like that. It's got a lot of spunk.
It's got a lot of pep. All right. You know the guys... Well, there was a guy in the comments who built the replica Shelby Cobra. Or the guys who build the replica GT 500 Mustang. I know I'm going all Fords here. They're the fake Yanko Camaros. Now, the difference between that, people pass on it because, okay, it's American versus American. But this is American versus Japanese. Justin has already talked that the JDM engines are different because there's different mapping, there's different turbos, there's different computers.
They're just better.
And there's also the
Block's
difference.
Same.
Okay.
Yeah.
You know, maybe it's Star Trek Insurrection. The line must be drawn here.
No further.
I can't do Patrick Stewart. Only he can do Patrick Stewart.
Yeah, I can't do him. But he just comes out sounding like Sean Connery when I try to do him.
Nice.
It just doesn't work.
I see the 2 super chats. The time is winding down, but this is such... At least give me your feelings on the GTS versus the Sprinter Truino.
I don't know if I have any feelings. I've never driven either.
Really?
Never.
Okay.
I don't know that any of them survived on this side of the continent.
Okay.
I know a lot of guys in California that have them. They seem to be very nice. But yeah, I mean, 6 of one, half a dozen of another. Like, yeah, it's not a real Truino. It doesn't say it on the back.
Yeah. And also, when you look at the VIN, the real one says AE86, and the American one says AE86 and also AE88.
Yeah.
That number appears. Oh shit! One super chat went away. I'll answer Luke, and then I'll have to scroll up and get the other one.
Luke's another customer. Actually, Luke is the blue Mark 1.5 you drove.
Yay!
Luke, what up?
I hear your thing's even faster now.
Mm-hmm.
Luke says, hey guys, just wanted to say hi. Justin and I have some plans I will need to discuss with you for next winter.
I believe you, Luke.
Bow, 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 bow. Bow, 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 bow.
I was thinking more. Dun, 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 dun. Yeah, when you drove it, it was on stock boost and had a wonky third gear synchro.
Yeah.
It now is on boost control. It makes like, that motor is like a freak motor. It made like 270 wheel on like 15 pounds of boost. It's an angry Mark 1.
Yeah. He was at our second RCR meet, and I didn't get a chance to drive it. I got to say hi to Luke. Thanks for driving all the way out there. I'm digging that one of the things that he did with his AW11 is he isn't running big wheels. Mm-hmm. He's running small wheels with thick tires.
15-inch Workmeisters.
Yeah.
Beautiful wheels. Yeah, Luke's a classy fella.
Max Fontaine, thanks for le £1.
On pound.
That's a question about the Dodge Caliper that we can come back to. I live in Vermont. The hobbyist. Thanks for $5, man. I live in Vermont and would love to send you guys some double IPA beers. Mailing alcohol is illegal in Pennsylvania. You can't do it.
But thank you.
Do you have a P.O. box to receive gifts? No. That's a weird thing about PA. It's we have blue laws. Justin and I had to drive like a half an hour to find a grocery store that circumvented the laws so we can have our own little multi six-pack. Jesus. Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. C. Peasy? 69, dude. 169.
What number am I thinking of?
69.
One of the greatest quotes, right? I mean,
Will Robinson's a $2 question. Thoughts on the Crucible and the Scarlet Letter? Okay. The Crucible is The Crucible is a safe book about witches that you read in the 8th grade, and The Scarlet Letter is a story about spousal abuse, and also is a very good story about the Romanicist period, and allows that it's the beginning of the individual capital I that proves that someone can move beyond their labels, and our current fascination with gender labels can be traced back to an Enlightenment novel from the 19th century, because if you want to know anything about the Scarlet Letter, is that the letter A on Hester Prynne's chest begins in the beginning it stands for adulteress, and by the end of the movie, through her good acts, it stands for Abel, and that is her transcending the boundaries of her own of the labels that society has given her. So it's possible that the individual can rise above societal constructs, and that exists, and that concept predates the Constitution.
Mic drop.
Hey guys, just wanted to say hi. Justin, I have some plans. Oh, that was Luke. Is an AWO history and mods love the show? I don't know what that means from Fisher 255. It's an A without history and mods. Thank you for $2, man.
I think he did before too. Fisher 02554.
Yeah.
That's Josh. We got Josh.
Okay.
Oh, that's funny. There was a lot of random ones here. What? Wait, what?
What? Please read that.
Thank you, CNN, for $5. And their question is just a statement. We are the most trusted name in news.
This happens every time we do this.
Really?
CNN shows up, throws down a $5 and tells us we are the most trusted name in news.
That is awesome. You have made it, my friend.
The $10 one is going to go slower. So, what is your opinion on K20 swap? We were talking about K20, the one that did the wheel stand. On K-swap SW20s. I understand the horsepower possibilities, but would you still consider it a true Toyota?
Tommy K, thanks for the $5. That is a great question. Would I consider it a true Toyota? Well, I mean, it doesn't have a Toyota engine, so obviously it's not a true Toyota, but is that what you want? You know, do you want a K-swapped MR2? They will make more power with rare exception, than a 3S GTE swapped MR2 or equipped MR2. You will pour piles of money into it to make that power, but compared to a 3S GTE, I guess a little bit less. Interesting question, though. There's a lot of hubbub about that in the MR2 diehards.
Is my Falcon, if I LS swap my Falcon,
is it a true Falcon?
Is it still a Ford? Like, even if I do a simple, like Matt Happel said, if I do an LS swap, I should do the 4.8 LS with the 4L60 transmission, the lesser of the two transmissions. Mm-hmm. But if I'm not running boost, or I'm not running a 6-liter with a tune on it and a cam and springs, I don't need the 4L80 because that's a truck transmission. Yeah. I just need the smaller one if I'm just building a cruiser. Matt Happel, he has this saying when people come up with him with build questions, and his question always to them is, what is your goal for this car?
When we were still building cars, the first two questions, what's your budget and what are you going to use it for? If you were building a drag MR2, build a K-swap car. Mm-hmm. Because it's way easier, more work, but much simpler work. You buy 1,000 horsepower K motors and just put them in there.
Yeah.
If you're building a road course car, you can't use that much power on your best day in an MR2. It's hilarious and pointless. If you're building just a cruiser that you want to just have a good time with and not spend many tens of thousands of dollars, putting it together and just have a good time, like the cars that we used to build, or like our giveaway cars. Mm-hmm. We just want to go have a good time. It's reliable. It works. It's fun. It's quick. It's not going to destroy a Ferrari. Mm-hmm. Then leave the 3S in there. Especially if it's Gen 4 or Gen 5.
Junk SW22. Thanks for $2, man. What wheels best suit the SW20? Well, okay, now we're into aesthetics. Da, 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 da. Me?
I'm interested to hear your thoughts on this, actually, because I'm probably jaded. Or biased.
Wheels. Wheels and an intake do not a build make. See, I'm a purist, and I still believe in the idea of authorial intention from a literature perspective. It's not a postmodernist viewpoint, and I believe the wheels that came on it are the correct wheels. Now, my AW11 Mark 1B did not have stock wheels. It had NK 92s or 82s, but they were a factory authorized dealer option. Ford okayed those wheels that were on that car.
You just didn't have the BBS wheels?
Mine had NKs.
It did.
And it was on the sheet. They came with
right,
those. They came with
those. You bought it from the original owner, didn't you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What happened is that car came off the boat before it got to the distributing house at the port. It had Steelies. Steelies came off. NKs went on before it got through customs.
Really?
Yeah.
That's fascinating, especially since I have...
Or maybe through customs, and then after customs it had these. But it was considered a factory option.
Right. So it wasn't a dealer option.
No.
It happened before it got to the dealer.
Yeah. Happened before it got to the dealer.
Interesting. Interesting. Thanks for saying Love Prime, by the way, Junk SW22. We love you too.
We got to go back up through these because I wax poetic about these names. So I see all these things. Red Scarlet in the 8th grade. Jimmy Sanchez said Red Scarlet in the 8th grade. Hated it. You're not ready for the Scarlet Letter. Scarlet Letter is honestly college level stuff. And also because it's read in late modern English, or rather, okay. The greatest influencer to writing is the camera. The camera changed how people wrote. Early, everything written, say, pre-1910 has a different feel to it because people had to write in imagery, and that is what the realist movement is about. Before cameras, like Dennis Miller, love him or hate him, had this really good line that said, look at old portraits. All it is rich people and their stuff.
Yeah, that's true. I never thought of that.
all artists were cameras hanging around the neck of the rich. So the making cheap illustrations changed writing, and also introduced the importance of the internal monologue, because before you pick up like the Scarlet Letter and like the chapter house or the Union House, the first chapter of that book is just describing a building, and you hand this thing to an 8th grader and he's just thinking, why do I have to read this? I just learned how to use my hand to trick my dick into thinking I'm having sex. This is stupid.
And way less exciting.
I know. And then you're going to try to get me interested in this. But you see, you have to put yourself in the period of that time that if you wanted to know what was going on, you had to write about the way fucking things look. I mean, you read Mordy Arthur and like the early Arthurian legend, they spend pages describing a fucking meal. And that's the exciting stuff, but you have to get your mind out of sex before you can read this. So teaching the Scarlet Letter to 8th graders, you have to just focus. It's a huge burden on the teacher to explain what's going on in this time for kids to realize this. In the same way that when you talk about Toyota engines, you have to explain what Toyota was trying to do to the world. Because we're just getting off of smog. It's like, you can have power. This is not a 5-liter engine. This is 1.8. I know you're seeing that tiny number and you're getting angry. Let me explain what's going on here. This is something called port fuel injection.
It's not made by Holly.
Yeah. No, we made our own. That works. No, really.
Because we're Japanese.
Tommy K says, what's your opinion? Okay, we had that question, K-Swap.
Yeah.
You can see how the hours go by right here.
It's crazy how time flies when you're...
What is wheels? We talked about wheels. What wheels best suit the SW20? The wheels that came on it. Fuck me.
Oh, interesting. That was some interesting follow-up to that.
Okay.
Oh, wow.
C Peasy. 4L60 was also in trucks. It's a decent box. Yeah, it's totally decent. The thing about the 4L60 is people try to run high boost motors through a 4L60 because they're cheap, and also because they don't want to cut transmission tunnels because it's a physically smaller transmission from General Motors, and then they keep busting them up. And like, well, how do I build up the transmission? It's called buy the 4L80. It'll take 800 horsepower and it won't care because it's made for all the 3500 series stuff.
Big heavy crap.
Yeah. C Peasy says, hey fellas, Colin from Ohio here. Do you think $1,000 84 Buick Riviera 5 liters, so that's probably the GM 305, is worth restoring? No. And maybe one day swapping with the GN 3800? No. You know what that thing is? I know you're gonna say, but everybody does LSs. No. Cheap shit box, 6-liter iron block LS Chinese turbocharger. Yeah. Okay. No. See, if you get he's referring to the Grand National Turbo 3800. That's worth 5 times It's a great V6. It's also worth 5 times the amount of your car. Versus a 6-liter LS out of a van is worth $200 and it fits your build. Unless it's a $1,000 84 Buick Riviera. Wait, 84, was that a Transverse? Shit. Now I don't know. When they started, the 80s. I don't know.
I don't know my Rivieras that well.
We need Justin Kramer here.
I know a Grand National would just be by a Grand National.
Yeah. I
mean, I drove one. They're
Oh, wait. 84 Buick Riviera. So that's Grand National started in 83. So you're going to make a Grand National clone? No. I mean, buy a T-Type. That'll be cheaper. No matter what, you're stuck with that GN General Motors 80s interior. Like, even with a Grand National, stuff is cheap in there.
You know what we talked about the Lexus button sound guy? GM didn't have that guy. In fact, No, they hired him and then they fired him because he was taking up too much time.
You know what the worst thing about a General Motors is? A Grand National is closing the door with the window down. Because you close it and you hear the window rattle inside the door.
Yeah, you couldn't do that. In fact, you couldn't close the door with the window up, down just a little bit, with you inside the car, because your brains would come out the other side. There's like the hammer effect with one window down. Yeah, no, you can't do it. Can't do it. What's AJ Allen?
AJ Allen, thanks for $5, man. Just wanted to say you guys got me into cars. Learned to drive stick and influenced my decision to purchase a Golf GTI. Keep up the great work. It's it's probably the mark I talked about. I said, look, if it was the Golf GTI versus Focus ST argument. So like, look, if you're going to be commuting a lot, if you're going to be spending a lot of time in this car and you want your friends to enjoy it, look, Volkswagen's interior game is choice. And Ford just cheaped out a little bit on the interior. But the thing is, they were trying to undercut the GTI for price point. And you got to cut somewhere.
And the Americans always cut inside.
They do.
Yeah, GTI. Yeah, the German interiors are not to be trifled with.
Sin Fang offers a 4,000, I don't know what that is.
W with 2 lines through it horizontally. I don't know what that is, but I love it.
Junk SW20 says, I'm going for a staggered setup for 280 horsepower street.
He has the wheels. Yes. So Junk SW22.
I'll be right back.
Okay. Yeah, so we offer our most frequent setups on the website, on prongdriven.com. The most common ones we're going to run are obviously the Anki RPF ones. We'll run the 8 and the 9, light fender roll in the rear, 215 front, 245 rear tire. Call it a day. Tire choice up to you. Kumos, Sumitomos, Yokohamas, Dunlops, 280 horsepower street. You don't need any ridiculous tire. You don't need the Dunlop Z2, which was actually designed for Lemons racing. P.S. But you don't need anything crazy like that. You can get any of the Japanese or Korean tires, and they'll work just fine. But yes, you're correct to go for a staggered setup. The giveaway car number 5, the last one was on Anki RPF 1, double stagger, 17-inch front, 18-inch rear. Current giveaway number 6 is on 18s all the way around. It looks good. But if you're driving the car on a regular basis, the 17s are gonna be a little nicer in terms of ride quality. You got an extra 5 profile on the tire sidewall there. So Anki RPF ones, if you don't mind spending the G Note. If you want to save a few bucks, the XXRs and the Avids we carry, they're all fine. They're not even that much heavier than the RPF ones. They're cool looking tire, they're cool looking wheels, they're perfectly fine, and for the money, they're impossible to beat.
Tommy K has a follow-up to that. I've got 18 NK. See, I say NK, and you say Inke?
I say Anki.
Anki.
You're probably right.
NK.
Because they're Japanese.
I think I watched a video from the NK factory. And
you trickster.
And they say, what is the correct pronunciation of our company? NK.
Yeah. I mean,
it's simple. It's 2 letters, NK.
Mm-hmm.
I've got 18-inch NKs that look dope on my SW20, as they should. Hard to get spacing right, and the low profile ruins any kind of ride quality, but the look is phenomenal.
Yes, you are absolutely correct. Especially depending on what your suspension is. If you're on a really mild suspension, in terms of spring rates and strut and damping, you can make it tolerable. But yeah, the 18s, you got to go to a 35 profile tire. It's basically a baloney skin. It looks good, which is why it's on giveaway car number 6. And that car actually doesn't ride that bad because it's on a milder strut and a lowering spring. But yeah, on coilovers, your 18s are going to give you some kidney damage.
Patrick says, talk about Lexus.
Wait, I think that's talk put Lexus. Patrick, are you drinking too?
There he goes. Do another line. Look for Lapis.
I love Lexus. They're fancy Toyotas.
I used to work on MB 140 chassis S-Class, become a wiring nightmare after a few years.
Oh.
Ryan Conklin, someone you know?
Conklin. Is that like Conklin's Law from Cocktail?
What's that?
Tom Cruise movie?
Didn't see it.
Bartender? No?
No.
Classic.
Ryan Coughlin, thanks for $10, man. I only bought an Audi S4 after a review. It's a fun car. Terrible gas mileage, but fun sedan. Because everywhere I want to go, so much power. And I love the weirdness of the show. Please don't change. You know, I wish I could carry a rasp with me so I could properly itch my asshole. A wood rasp.
Like a straight one or like an angled one?
Straight one.
Okay, all right.
But I recently bought a bidet. It's in the bathroom when you use the bathroom. Have you ever?
I saw it.
Have you ever tried a bidet?
I have in France.
Oh, did it?
And I was surprised. Which Gen S4 is he talking about? B5, B6?
That's a good question. Not sure.
Because the B5, the 2.7 twin turbo, was badass, but hilariously expensive to work on.
I think the one that I reviewed was the supercharged V6. So that would have been...
Yeah, that would have been the B7. Okay. Yeah, I think that's when they did 3-liter supercharged V6. Yeah, what did you think of that?
It was fun. It sucked gas like crazy.
Yeah.
I made this argument later that a Corvette C6 gets more power and better gas mileage.
But on the highway cruising, because their 6th gear is hilarious.
Yes.
Overdrive.
Yes.
Like, I believe they're spinning at 60 miles an hour, 65 miles an hour, like 1,200 RPM. Something ludicrous.
Yeah.
Like,
I remember
overdrive.
I remember in a C7, I was in 7th gear. At 40 miles an hour, and the engine was turning 780 RPM.
That's literally tick over.
And I also found that if I slowly scroll through the chat, I won't miss a super chat question.
That's a good point.
Will Robinson says, we read The Scarlet Letter in 11th grade. That's a better grade for it. Right before Malcolm X autobiography. Now, that's a weird transition because you've gone over a century between works.
And continents. No?
Scarlet Letter is American.
But it took place in France? No?
Scarlet Letter? No. The Scarlet Letter takes place in Boston.
Is that the Pimpernel? Scarlet Pimpernel?
What's that mean?
Excuse my literary illiteracy.
Scarlet Letter takes place in in colonial America, and it was written before the Constitution, but it was written in the colonies.
Huh.
And it was written during the Salem witch trials, but it has nothing to do with witches.
I see.
Long and short of Scarlet Letter is a woman has sex out of wedlock, and then she is forced to wear a little sign on her chest forever with the letter A saying you're an adulteress.
Or you got an excellent grade in school.
Yeah. But throughout the story, she does a whole bunch of good things, and everybody in town likes her, and that's the end of the story.
I like it.
Yeah. But it's more about being anyway.
I see. I apologize for the
no, and I apologize for being done. Like I hate being like literature nerd guy and actuallying my way through a conversation. Actually. We read The Scarlet Letter in 8th grade right before Mountain Dollar autobiography. Unrelated, do you want a French car brand to return to the U.S.? See, I like the Peugeot 206 because of that commercial and because of video games.
And because it won the World Rally Championship?
It did? How many times? Once or twice?
I think just one, Marcus Grönholm.
It was a fun car, and it was a turbo diesel, and I had fun driving a little turbo diesel, and I think it would be fine here. I mean, people like the Golf diesel, so why not this? You're just going to have
the Golf diesel as much now.
No. It's because it's French that you'd have problems selling it. I mean, we inherited, the Americans, like, I don't want to blame everything on the British, but it's fun to do. We earned our making fun of France from the British because...
Rightly so.
Yeah. But then also we kind of had this weird thing that they helped us out with the revolution. And then after it was over, they're like, okay, now help us with our revolution. And we went, who are you again?
Come again?
No, really?
Je ne sais what you're saying.
Alex Lachine says hello.
Hello. Somebody made fun of me about the Scarlet Pimpernel.
46 miles.
That's
so
fair
I'm
point.
scrolling back up.
Whatever you said is a fair point. Oh, interesting. Is that the most recent one?
So I have a caliber question. No. Edison Grimu gives $1. Thank you. Sin Wolfgame gives $1,000 W lines through it. Thank you. W1000 message redacted. Scarlet letter in the 8th grade. Okay.
Okay, yeah, so we're...
I dad clicked my way to the bottom.
Damn it.
Josh Woodsoe. Thanks for $5, man. Still have time for the caliper question. I had one. Oh, a Dodge caliper.
Mm-hmm.
I had one. Hated it so much that I loved it. That sounds like Stockholm Syndrome to me. Drove it from Wisconsin to New Mexico before the frame rusted out.
You made it the whole way? Sorry. It was a genuine surprise.
I've never driven a Dodge caliper, and I have to do it from RCR. I heard it's one of the worst cars you can buy.
Was the caliper a neon and drag?
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. Because he did an SRT4.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was not good looking.
No, I like the Dodge Neon SRT4. It was balls out, and it was fast, and it was fun.
And they all blew up.
And they all, like, here's the thing.
Because they were badass when the MR2s were only 10 years old. We were like, oh, I can't keep up with these guys running 19 pounds of boost on bump cats, 300 wheel, it's ridiculous. And we're still around as 27-year-old cars, and they're not 15-year-old cars.
They're not.
Because they're American. I'm sorry.
Bruce Henn says this about working on a bunch of Dodge Neon SRT4s. He said, look, they are made to make the power they make from factory. If you don't fuck with it, it'll run. But that engine from factory is running the most that weird Mopar Mitsubishi thing can make.
Yeah.
That's what it's supposed to do. You put a boost controller on that, pop.
Nice knowing you.
Yeah.
Fully engorged.
What's he say?
I don't know. That's all he says.
Fully engorged sin sword.
Patrick Gillespie. That sounds strangely like a customer. Toyota Yamaha engine in. Yes, the heads on Toyota engines in the 80s and 90s were manufactured by Yamaha. That is correct. But they share nothing in common with a motorcycle engine.
Idison Gimme You, $5, says, do you know any tire manufacturers that still make off-road oriented tires for a 14-inch rim? Cocker, maybe. Bias ply Jeep tires and snow tires don't count. Aww. You want off-road O tires for 14 millimeter. Well, Cocker is just like vintage Winga Dinga stuff. You want off-road oriented bias ply Jeep tires and snow tires don't count. Did you go on Tire Rack and just type in like a 14-inch wheel and see what comes up?
That would be my recommendation.
What ran 14-inch wheels? And you don't care about Jeep wheels because that's what I was gonna say. I don't know, man. I'm
gonna venture a guess, and they're gonna be Chinese named.
You know what?
Or sneakily American named Chinese companies.
Right.
Like Winter Lake.
Is that a company?
You're not fooling anybody, China. Yeah.
I think, see, you can have an off-road tire, but you know what a good off-road tire is? A snow tire. You may be able to find a 14-inch snow tire and just rip it up off-road. It'll work for you. Justin is peeing. Mike Bombera says, Super Chat got skipped, but I have a question anyway. Sorry, man. I didn't figure out if I scroll slowly, it'll save all of them. Got a GTS AE8 88 and swapped in a 4AGE with aftermarket pulley kit. Oh, 4AGZE with an aftermarket pulley kit, so you run the Supercharge one. Will I break my T50 transmission soon? Now, that's a question for Justin when he gets back from peeing. And thank you to everybody else whose Super Chat questions disappear. But now that we're slowly scrolling through, the lines, we will get to yours before we get to the very bottom. Anthony P. Torelli says, "Hey RCR, just wanted to say I love your." What if I left it there and just said I love your channel. Keep what you're doing in Pittsburgh. So you like the SS review? Pretty much love from Toronto. Yeah, sorry I said earlier. RCR Toronto is not happening. It's RCR Kingston. So we got another MR2 question waiting for you here.
Fantastic.
Mike says, Super Chat got skipped. Again, sorry. But I have a question anyway. I got a GTS AE88 and he put in the 4AG ZE with an aftermarket pulley kit. Now, will I break my T50 transmission?
I assume the T50 is an AE transmission. I'm going to go ahead and venture a guess. No. Anything built by Toyota in the 80s or the 90s wasn't generally broken on power increases sub 100%, with the exception of a hard launch on a very sticky tire and a very sticky surface. Just like the S54, which only was mated to a 130 horsepower 5S FE in the MR2 or any other car and engine transmission combination there. You will not break an S54 at 300 wheel on a roll, but you will break it on a launch because the diff breaks, not the gears or any of the other stuff. Yeah, yeah. The transmission itself will hold up just fine. Just like, I mean, the E153 will hold up to 800 wheel horsepower, but you'll break the CV axles on a sticky tire hard launch at 300 wheel. So, you know. Pick your poison. But I don't venture you're going to break that unless you are drag racing on a super sticky tire, on a super sticky surface, in which case no logic or reason applies.
Thank you for that answer. Einstein Gilmaru, thanks for $5, man. Do you know of any tire manufacturer? Oh, we answered this.
Yes, we did. I was going to say that name is eerily familiar. Yeah, that was Merritt.
I dad clicked.
Dad click.
Oh, you know what I did? I held the button down just a little bit too long, and then I went all the way down to the bottom.
There we go. Merith.
Justin, thinking of the Scarlet Pimpernel about the French Revolution.
So is that where I got France from?
Or
is that wrong?
I wish I knew what the Scarlet Pimpernel was, and I should know what it means, but I don't.
It was French. That's where I got my Scarlets. Thank you, Merith.
Thank you, Merith. Thanks for the $5. Appreciate it. Just the Scarlet Pimpernel. I feel impotent that I don't know what the Scarlet Pimpernel is. Carefully. Don't dad click.
Easy. Steady on.
Easy click.
Steady.
Jared says, are we going to have 2-hour-long podcasts now? Dude, when the beer flows, the minute hand spins.
Also, I think for the record, we're like 149 right now.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, 146. I was pretty close. I was eyeballing it.
Oh, for real? Awesome. Find a GMC Sprint. Ready to have my throat and hole used hard by these drunk straight guys. Who said anything about straight?
The Coons is me.
Matthew Mole. Hey, Matt. The Cam Master has been improved since you last reviewed it. That's a Buick Roadmaster running the original LT engine and I think a Tremec 5-speed in a bench seat that they had to cut a hole in the floor for a stick shift to come through, and then do something with the ECU so the ECU just thinks it's neutral all the time. And then also had to cut a bit and re-sew the bench seat so you have enough room to throw.
I was going to say, you have to cut the whole seat up, right? Yeah.
No, you kept the bench seat. Matthew Mo says, Cam Master has been improved since you last reviewed it. Be willing to review it for a comparison. Also finally finished the LT swap 87K10. Nice. LT1, is that because GM had the LT engine, then they went to the LS, and now they brought back the designation LT, which is really just an LS with direct injection.
Yeah, I'm confused.
I'm confused about that too. We're review for a comparison. Matt, I kind of don't want to revisit the Cam Master just because I have a bunch of other stuff to do. But, you know, send me an email about the 87K10. How rare actually are the AE95 sedans in America? I'm in Southern California and I rarely see them. I don't know what an AE95 is.
Nor do I. I expect it's a Toyota based on the AE, but that's pretty much it.
Burgundy Burnout says, I'm back. What did I miss? Well, I'm still on my second beer.
And my second beer was gone many moons ago.
In the regular chat, the LX 2003 says North Star. I have one. In what? What do you guys think of them? Like, look, I had this whole rant about the General Motors North Star engine. Look, it offers nothing over an LS. General Motors made it to have a modern double overhead cam V8, all aluminum block.
And they touted that thing.
It Justin Kramer's opinion on it is as, look, it makes good power for what it is, but they drop the ball with the gaskets. They blow head gaskets, and they're just stuffed into engines because they're a physically dimensionally larger
and transverse.
Yeah.
You know, Bill Strong, grandfather or father of the MR2OC forums, put one in a Mark 1. It moved around the backyard a couple times, but that was pretty much the extent of the build. I mean, like a long build, like you put a lot of work into it, but ultimately I don't think it ever saw public roads. But yeah, he took the, because it's narrower, so he was able to squeeze it in there. There were some compromises, accommodations. But yeah.
So it moved around.
But they were transverse. That's why
it moved around until it moved around just a little bit. The oil didn't get up to temp, and the water temp, the coolant, did not get up to temp.
The next comment is hilarious.
What?
My cool Kino. You want me to read it?
Yeah.
I got a hot Tinder date this week. Should I take my 91 Chevy box van that is white with no windows? Or should I ask to borrow my dad's rusted out Caravan? Neither have a valid PA inspection. I'm going to bow to the PA resident for this one.
Okay. So he got a Dodge Caravan versus Chevy box van.
No windows. Panel van.
The rusted out Caravan.
How old is she? Let's make sure this is legal first.
You gotta lean out the window, and if you don't chew Copenhagen, you do now. You gotta lean out the window and say, hey, you wanna go to the Kino parlor? They just opened one out of the strip mall. Oh, well, my wife wears a diaper. Which is a Brian Shoop line. Borrow my dad. So the 91 Chevy box van is yours? Well, then you got to come correct as yourself, Chevy box fan.
Represent. Oh.
Einstein, tire question was for a Miata.
That explains the 14-inch. I was a little confused on the Jeep because I thought they had 15s. My Cherokee Sport had 15s.
Yeah.
So, yeah, Miatas are catered to for tires, probably not by a lot of manufacturers.
Again, with Chinese stuff.
Yeah.
It's going to exist.
Yeah, I mean, don't get fooled by the name.
And people lift them all the time.
Yeah. True story.
Regular question. What do you guys think about auto mechanic as a trade? You want to become a mechanic? Computer repair delivery driver here and looking to make a switch up to trades. So what? When you say delivery driver, are you like talking about like Geek Squad or something like that? It's like a retail thing?
That's the feel I'm getting. But
right.
I could be mistaken.
Like,
I mean, yeah.
Do you have some skill wrenching? I mean, you could go up to a mechanic that you have a
rapport with.
That's the word. And say, I'd like to learn how to do this. Can I apprentice like after hours? Because after hours is a thing with shops. Sometimes they have to, like the owner or something will go after hours. the sign is flipped to close. He's not answering the phone. It's ringing, but he's not answering. He's like, look, I need to get something. And you want to work for this guy for an hour, even handing tools, you're going to learn a lot. That would be my advice. He's not paying you. Look, I want to learn how to do this. Can you teach me? That sort of thing.
Yeah, I think it's interesting because the two are almost entirely unrelated. Like, have you ever been a paid mechanic? Like, a lot of guys who are enthusiast mechanics, which is the vast majority of our customers, are, it's fun to work on your own car in your own time when you want to.
Yeah.
It's not as fun to work on other people's cars all the time when you don't want to. It's the only word of caution I would give you. But like Brian said, if you can find somebody who will let you shadow him, apprentice him, which is tough because that's time they could be working and making money and you're slowing them down, then do that, because that's a lost art in terms of apprenticing and people who will allow you to apprentice them.
Yeah.
But great advice.
Sebastian Nelson, thanks for $5, man. I drive an '02 Mitsubishi Galant. All right.
I love these. How would I be portrayed?
How would I be portrayed? Okay. Well,
is it a VR4?
I'm guessing no, because if it was, he would have said so.
Said that, yeah. That's like when you have a Beamer 323 and take the badges off. Everyone thinks it's an M3. No, they don't. Mm-hmm. They just don't.
Would you ever review one? An opinion in general. Love you from Michigan. Love the show. Thanks, Sebastian. Okay, an '02 Mitsubishi Galant driver. You're pregnant.
Or your passenger's pregnant if he's a guy.
You have a pack of Marlboro Gold cigarettes with old Christmas ribbon wrapping around it as your prize for giving birth. Because enough. See, if you were driving a Cavalier, you'd be smoking while pregnant, but you're a Mitsubishi Galant, so you got something called class. And you have those cigarettes on the mantle above the cemented up fireplace next to a picture, like the only picture of your grandfather with an untucked shirt. And his Korean War hat that he never takes off while he was alive.
So that's how you'll be portrayed.
Because your grandfather, every time someone tries to take a picture, he goes right up to the camera and holds his hand and say, "Cut that shit out." I've never had, I think my grandfather was like that. I hardly ever knew. But there were a few people floating around, like friends of family, who were vehemently opposed to any type of photograph at any time. It was like, no. They'd get up and leave the table if a camera came out. Mm-hmm. And was like, look, this is like a Memorial Day picnic, and we're all here. The family's all here. And there'd be that one relative who got up and left. Anyway. There's like a large...
pre-social media.
Yeah, this is like 95.
Roast the Toyota Yaris.
M Beats Yaris. Taint Buster 9000, like the hardest seats in the world. M Beats, thanks for $5, man. I remember you from before. He's telling me you should buy an 86 Plymouth Reliant, or should I? Oh, should I buy an 86 Plymouth Reliant for $1,500? It's a coupe with 89,000 original miles on the original Chrysler 2.5 four-cylinder, driven by an old lady who died at the age of 105. All right. My first question is vacuum lines. There's going to be a butt ton of them, and I'll bet all of them are as hard as the veins in the owner. So, yeah, if the family's selling it for $1,500, you are going to be spending $2,000 on labor costs to have that engine refreshed. I'll bet, like, look, if the oil was changed and everything, it's probably fine. Injectors are fine. You know, I don't know about carbon buildup on, well, okay, it's like Plymouth, 86 Plymouth Reliant. They were running carburetors at the same time they were running TBI injection. So I have no idea. I have no idea what the valves are in. I mean, I kind of think that's a good price. Offer them $900. See what they say. Even for, like, look, okay, if you're of the means, there's nothing wrong with $1,000 beater.
My first question was going to be, did she die in the car? I don't know if that's just me.
Thanks for your question, man.
Somebody asked about a 2003 Tacoma.
Oh, did I dad click too fast?
Yes.
Yeah, I did.
All Toyotas are amazing. There's another one of my customers. Oh, wow. We dad clicked again.
Oh, dad click.
You dad clicking.
You should review an ice cream truck. Or I'm trying to review the On It food truck. The GSTGI driver. I actually mean the AE95, which was the all-wheel drive version of the AE92 Corolla as a Corolla platform wagon sedan. So is that the all-track one?
Yes.
Is that the one that had the tilt sensor in the dash, or was that something? That was a Tercel.
Yeah,
that was a Tercel.
Yes. I'm only vaguely familiar with the. Now that he said that, the all-track Corolla wagons. One of our customers had one. And I don't remember how many miles it had on it. Many. And it was, like any 80s or 90s Toyota. If the body was still there, it was run like a clock.
Nice.
And, I mean, a total fashion statement. I mean, that's the chicks. I mean, you can call it the shaggin' wagon.
Gosh, they were high-tech, and then no one cared, and now the nerds care deeply for those things. Tim Kobelia says, what mods, if any, would you recommend for a daily driven 1MZ FE Toyota Avalon?
I think that was the guy that asked about the 1MZ.
Riding low to the Olive Garden in that thing. with 293. Oh, we got extra breadsticks. I like the Olive Garden. You know, Gary works there. Gary's a good boy. How are you gonna mod an Avalon?
Don't
25 shot of nitrous.
and then count your blessings.
25 shot of nitrous. You know, get the cordless drill you bought at Harbor Freight, shove it right into the plastic line going up to the end.
Yeah, your Pittsburgh drill.
Yeah. Chicago Electric.
Chicago Electric. Pittsburgh is the non-motorized the non-motorized wrenches. Yeah.
Just hook it up to a doorbell inside and just. That's what you do, man.
That's it. That's from our mouths to your car.
Buy it from Summit. That's over $100 in like a kit. You'll get the free shipping. It'll come in 3 days if you're on the East Coast. ANG Production says AE95.
AJT Productions.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh, he just commented earlier.
Oh, Wagon Sedans.
That was him.
Thanks for $5, man.
That was him.
We saw your regular one, but thanks again for $5 for.
Thanks, man. You rock. I'm too poor to donate money. One bad SS. What is?
I'm poor to do it. Justice for Simon. Both his super chats got ignored. Oh shit! Who's Simon that I ignored him?
Yeah, because Junk SW22. We've answered at least I think 2
of his. See, I don't understand this. I thought we were answering every single one. Justice for Simon. We're just scrolling
right now.
Yeah, unless I dad click through them. Okay, I'm going back up.
Here we go.
Searching for a guy named Simon. That's M Beats. We answered him.
Got him.
Sebastian.
Got him.
We answered him. Up more.
Oh!
Simon. Okay, Simon Trent 800.
That's
$2 Canadian dollars. You skipped my $20 post. Fuck, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. AJT, how's rare? Okay. Cam Master has been improved since last possible review. We saw that. Okay, Simon, $20. Simon. Sorry, so sorry, Simon. Tire questions for Miata.
Can we just look at the super chats?
I don't know if there's a way, if you can or
I don't know.
not.
Let's just keep scrolling.
If
so
they
we
had
miss
their own
something.
window, it would help if we had 2 windows.
Yeah.
That would work.
We gotta go super high tech next time.
Simon. Scrolling up. Einstein, tire
Got him.
manufacturers? We got that.
Got him.
Josh.
Yep.
I still have a caliber question.
Good.
Sinfang. These are back to the W's with the lines. Okay, I think $20 is... No, Audi A4. Okay. Simon Trent 800. There you are. Sorry, Simon. We'll get to your question now. The Cumberland Motor Club in Maine holds a 3-day autocross in Limestone at the Cold War Air Base Loring.
Ooh,
I guess
War Air Base.
that sounds fun.
I
I autocross a 1986 MR2 with a 4AGE 20 valve. What's ITB mean?
Independent throttle body.
Ooh.
Yeah, the black top.
I wish for you to come to this event thrashing my MR2. I also can review my 2000 XB. I got a chance at one of my car meets. A guy showed up with a Corolla with the GTS Sprinter Trueno clone with individual throttle bodies. I don't know what was done to the engine, maybe apart from that intake.
Probably nothing.
Really?
There's not much to do, really. I mean, they're nice. They scream, though. Like, you can get them all the way up to, like, 8,800 RPM. Stock. I had one in my my 86 Mark 1 also.
Yeah?
Yeah. I daily drove that thing for a while. On K-Sport. No, D2 coilovers. It was rubbish. Well, the engine was good, but the coilovers not so much. Yeah. No, it's a sweet little Mark 1 setup.
My opinion on a 4AGE, now, ITB, you say that's blacktop?
Yeah, well, I mean, the Silvertop technically had ITBs, but
that was the one that I drove.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
it was.
But when you put them in the MR2s, most of the time, guys put in blacktops because they made an extra 15 horsepower, 10 or 15 horsepower. And they had black valve covers instead of silver. Silvertop was silver, blacktop was black.
Oh.
Yeah.
What's the difference between a blacktop with individual throttle bodies and a silver top with individual throttle bodies?
10 to 15 horsepower.
Is it like
otherwise?
How where does that tiny little bit of power come from?
I believe. See, we're stretching my the old days here of the 4AGs. I believe the blacktop had higher compression.
Okay.
I could be wrong, but I don't see where else they would have gotten the power from because it's not bigger. And it might rev a little bit higher. Like the silver tops you rarely see in MR2s anymore. 15 years ago you saw them because they were much cheaper than the black tops.
Okay.
But both of them are impossible to get parts for. Especially the silver tops.
When I drove an AE86 with a silver top with individual throttle bodies, what I took away from that is that thing revved like breath coming out of a marathon runner's mouth. Like, it went right up. But the thing is, 60% of that rev, there's nothing.
Yes, that's correct.
It's just... It's like, I'm at 5,000 RPM, there's fuck all here. Yeah. And it's the last seconds.
Yeah.
That was it. Like, so trying to do it on the...
And the ITBs exaggerated that. So with the standard intake, you got a little bit more torque, like another 10 foot-pounds, like 1,000 RPM earlier. Yeah. But when you went to the ITBs, just moved everything up. Right. Just like camming anything else.
It looked cool with those things. It had little trumpets things on.
Yeah, super cool.
The guy had one of those big foam air cleaners that fit over all 4 of them. Yep. He took that off for the show. It looked badass. We drove around it without the air cleaner on. Yep. But it's like, I'm trying to find power with this 5-speed, and it's like I'm in it and I'm out of it. It was kind of like diesel within the low RPM. Yeah, and so in the black tops, you could buy the motors with the 6-speed. And the 6-speed... with the more aggressive gearing of a 6-speed, made it feel like it had another 15 horsepower. And you had a little bit more power band, not because you had more power band, but because the gear spacing was obviously for that motor, the black top. The silver top was a 5-speed motor, but the 6-speed made a big difference in terms of drivability, like what you were talking about. Like it just had a little bit more. Thanks, Simon. Thanks for $20. I'm sorry that I dad clicked through your thing. I'm back now at this chat, slowly scrolling through it, where Simon Trent said for $2. Thanks so much, man. I wish I could find a way to like refund stuff because you didn't deserve that. That's my error. That you skipped my $20 post. Sorry about that, Simon. I hope we sufficiently answered your question. I love it. I don't know what my travel plans are. Usually it's send me an email and I'll get to it if I can to. But thanks so much for liking my silly show, and thanks for hanging out with myself and Justin. So carefully dad clicking, or not dad clicking, educated millennial son clicking. Sebastian and his gallant. Okay, we got through that. Roasted Toyota Yaris, Taint Buster 9000, Plymouth Reliant. We got through that. I don't think I'm going to ask Nick to turn this into a podcast because it's not going to really work. Because it's like, this is like, imagine if Joe Rogan did a podcast of Jamie pull that up and it's nothing but that. This is kind of what that is. But I'm here interacting with you, and I hope you're having a good time. AE95 was pretty much an all-track 92 that came in wagon sedans. We got that. Okay. Going down. Haha, Rich Altman, a mere mortal compared to the well-deserved celebrity status in the MR2 community, but why are you making comments about Corvettes here?
So Rich Altman is the primary organizer of the Bear Mountain meet, the biggest MR2 meet in the country.
You told me about that.
Coming up in September, late September. So Rich is obviously friends with Jordan. And Rich has a yellow convertible C6 Corvette in addition to his red 91 Gen 4 turbo prime built car. One of the first Gen 4 cars we built and sold. Yeah. Back in 2013. Super nice car. But that was Rich Altman commenting there.
Thanks, Rich. We're at the 2-hour mark and we're not even on our third beer. I need to go get some water. I'm almost out and you're all out.
I'm out. I'm empty. 91 Pontiac 6000 A car.
The official car of Megan's Law. 1991 Pontiac 6000, a car I haven't seen in a while. That was supposed to be a sports sedan. Or was it a coupe? I can't remember if a 6000 was a coupe.
I'm rarely caught. I don't know what that is.
But that, okay, you remember the Oldsmobile Cutlass Sierra?
Yes.
It's that. But sporty.
Sporty.
It's that.
It's sporty.
It's that GM. I forget the GM body. But they're the same body. Okay. For a while, General Motors had like one body for everything. Yeah. It was General Motors, like is the General Motors equivalent of the Chrysler K platform. Okay. They made the Chevy Lumina out of that.
Yes. Yeah. My best friend had one of them growing up. Blue. And the L fell off, so we called it the Umina.
There was like weird 70s throwbacks to that in that the bench seat, and I got a chance to drive one for RCR. Super thin steering wheel.
Like awkwardly thin?
Yeah, like 60s thin.
Yeah.
Like you touch the steering wheel in my Falcon, and the thickness, I mean, it's about the thin as this microphone stand. That's it. So thank you, Ubuntu super user. Ubuntu. That's Linux server. Ubuntu. It's a Linux thing, I think. Burgundy Burnout says, "Hey, check your emails. You missed a few super chats." Really? More?
Check your emails?
You missed a few super chats. I have a Google Doc with a log of all super chats as they come in, so they don't disappear. Fuck.
Burgundy Burnout's on point.
How are we missing these things? I mean, we stopped the chat from our point of view, and we're going slowly through them. Unless he thinks that because they disappeared in the chat above that we haven't got to them.
Because they do, they do disappear.
Yeah, like there's a time limit. Like,
right.
You're supposed to be all like, "Hey guys, new male smile," answering the questions, the super chat questions before they go away. But since we're taking our time, we're just going right through them. I mean, we will check the email here. Oh, shit, I dad clicked again. I went right to the bottom.
Oh, there's another one of my customers. One of our customers there. Khalid. Yes, Khalid, you can run with no blow-off valve. It's how we run all of our stock turbo cars.
Okay. Ubuntu super user.
Oh, that was a dad click.
Did I dad click again?
No.
Okay.
You just corrected the dad click.
Okay. Junk SW22. Oh, it's him again.
Our buddy.
Thank you. Thanks for $2, man. Dodge Rampage. It's stupid and ugly, but I'm in love. Yeah, I'm with you, man. The engine's bullshit. I don't know what to do about a Dodge Rampage. I mean, were they running a Mitsubishi engine in those things?
I don't know what a Dodge Rampage is.
It's a Dodge.
Was that the Dodge Mitsubishi partner time period in the late 80s?
Yeah, and it's also it's a picture in El Camino.
Oh.
It's a car truck, or as the Australians and the Kiwis call them, it's a ute.
Ute.
I saw one.
Yeah. The two what? Youths.
It's a neat looking car. It's ugly. It's super cool. Did I just say it's super cool? You know why I say it's super cool? Because the Brat is super cool. And if I have to judge all utes by the standards of the Brat, it is. Thanks for $2, man.
Boom.
You can do Control F and the name of the person you're looking for. Oh, okay. The Simon incident will be on PewDiePie tomorrow. Okay.
I don't even know what that is.
Why is slow mode 90 seconds? I'll explain what slow mode is later. Okay. It means people can't keep typing the same thing in. They have to wait 90 seconds before they comment again. So the chat doesn't go super fast, but since we're long-winded, we're only going through as it on our own terms. Timothy Kabula, 499 says, for the record, I did own a 1998 Toyota Avalon with a 1MZ FE that had 230,000 miles. I bought it for $200 and sold it for $850. What a machine. Well, for that price.
You bought a driving Toyota for $200? My head is off to you, sir.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was
that
thanks for the $5 again there, Timothy.
Yeah, thanks, man. Okay, we have a Lexus question. It's a regular chat.
Here we go.
I'm looking into getting a 1997 to 2001 Lexus ES300. Mm-hmm. They are listed here for $1,500 for my first car. It has a 1MZ FE engine. From what I know, it's a luxury Camry. Is there anything I should look out for?
Yes, it's a Camry in a fancy party frop. Yeah, no, I mean it's just a nicer Camry. Leather interior. Generally the always enjoyable two-tone paint jobs on a lot of those. But no, nothing to look out for, nothing to be concerned with. It's a nicer Camry that's mechanically exactly the same. Good choice for a first car there, Kitty's Dosage.
Justin, I am filtering more water. I will be out in a second.
All right. Workforce 520. Thanks for the $5. Car not meant to be saved. Great Aunt has 07 Camry that just passed 13,000 miles. Goes in once a year for service and just had original tires replaced. Car not to be saved. I'm not sure if you want us to comment on that. But you're right. An 07 Camry is not a car meant to be saved. But with 13,000 miles on it, clearly someone either doesn't drive or is playing the long game on collector cars. Stuart Scherer, are you saying I can put nitrous in my mom's old 2003 Toyota Sienna? Will that work? Well, you can put nitrous in anything. Should you put nitrous in your mom's Toyota Sienna? Not if she still owns it. Simon Trent 8000. I have a silver top with blacktop ECU. Yes, you can do that. GSI driver. Do red top 4AGs still get love out here? I love my third gen non-TVIS one. Do red top 4AGs still get... I mean, they're still in cars. Mostly the cars they came in. I don't know about love, but it was a good car, and actually a pretty impressive car for the time. Oh boy, be careful! I just touched something, and it got angry at me. Don't dad click. Ksana Bayu. Okay, I'm good. Okay, so we are Riviera
son
Type
of an
T.
Avatar 86 Riviera T-Type something. Are you now butthurt that Mr. Regular referred to you as Simon Trent 800?
Because he's Simon Trent 8000. So we took away a decimal point on it. Sound is on point. You're on point, Jacob.
Corndog Brownie says, just tuning in, so what's going on? What's going on, I know this is time delay, is we're with Justin Burnash from PrimeDriven.com, MR2 Specialist, and JDM Toyota Expert. And we are down to our last beer. And we've been going for 2 hours and 17 minutes, but, you know, beer makes time helpful. What do we got here, Justin?
Yes.
Your last beer.
Sorry, my last beer. This is the Stout. That's with a D and a T. Fat Dog Imperial Oatmeal Stout. That's I don't know if you guys can see that there. Let me do the spin move. Let's see. I'll do initial taste test here. Let me cleanse my palate. Okay, it's cleansed. A little hoppy for a stout, especially for an imperial oatmeal, but you know, tasty nonetheless. Not as good as my milk stout. That last milk stout, that was the highlight reel right there. I don't remember which brand that was, but it was delicious.
Did you answer?
I read
this
that.
one?
Yeah, that was just kind of a
workforce?
comment. I wasn't sure what we were supposed to do with that one.
Okay. Mr. Regular, I'm thinking about getting a Quincy S. Mr. Regular, I'm thinking about getting a 2002 Subaru Outback as a first car. Thought, sadly, automatic. Head gasket, head gasket, head gasket, head gasket.
And interestingly, the leaking head gaskets are often mostly fixed just by the little modern coolant they use, which already has the additive they sell you.
That was something they told us at Moyer's, the place we dropped off the car.
It's like pumice. It's literally like ground up sponge.
Really?
Like when you pour it in, but I mean, this stuff works.
Yeah.
Like we have one of our old mechanics. He had 100,000 miles on the car when he got it. It was leaking. Mm-hmm. He put the goo in because they told him the new coolant had it, but he was like, "Well, whatever. I'm not changing my coolant. I'm just gonna pour it in." And he poured it in, and he's got like over 200,000 on that thing.
For real?
And he's never done the head gaskets.
Damn.
It's like that engine restore stuff you used to get.
But is it made by Subaru?
Oh yeah, it's OEM Subaru stuff. Yeah, you just dump it in. It's like glug 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 glug, like the Lucas tranny gear oil. You gotta like warm it up because it's like jelly. Yeah, squeeze it in. Yeah, like the old like Smucker's bottle, and it was like part full. Yeah.
Marvel mystery.
Yeah. Just get the Subaru additive, and you'll be good.
Red Fox III says, going to meet up with AVE in Canada. AVE lives in British Columbia, west side of Canada. They're California. So I'd love to meet up with AVE, Uncle Bumblefuck. And, you know, he's amazing. I wouldn't know what to talk about. He's a fan of ours. I just want to hang out. Like, we could do a video, but props to that guy for never showing his face ever. We tried to do it. W. Bush said $2. Thank you, W. Bush. Now, there's a guy down here that said, Nua Beatus for $2 said you skipped my $50 chat. Shit.
We just went all the way to the top.
I know, right? Okay. Control F, N.
I think just Control F, right? And then you can search. There you go. Find a page.
UDIA. No? Okay. Sorry about this, guys. The guy said he sent in a $50 chat and I skipped it, so I'm going to try to find it. By the way, I just came across Burgundy Burnout's things. YouTube, I used to watch. YouTuber I used to watch would do a podcast, and some super chats would not just show up. They had someone log them all so you can still read the chats. Oh, okay.
Oh, yeah, so they had somebody literally just logging it. Nunya business.
Nunya business. Okay. Nunya business. Copy and paste. Nunya business had a comment I had to answer. That was held back, that said bastard file equals smooth rectum.
I don't know what that means, but it sounds...
Nunya business
better.
also say super chat got skipped, but hail Satan. Okay. Nunya business, Tacoma is a shitty town. Why did Toyota name a truck after it? Dude, that's good.
That's clever.
Nunya business, $2. You skip my $50 chat. And now we're back to the beginning file again. Unless this was a $50 chat there because smooth rectum.
They flagged it?
Unless he's playing me. Nunya business super chat got skipped, but hail Satan. Nunya business Dakota. See, I'm doing Control F, and I'm seeing every single instance of the word Nunya. And
that's
I
it.
don't see a $50 chat. Unless I'm just being trolled, which I don't want to think I am, but
it's a possibility.
It's a possibility. Gosh, I'm sorry. This super chat thing needs... It needs, like, better... I don't even know how this coding works.
Maybe a few bugs in the ointment.
Yeah. Burgundy Burnout said... I think what Matt Farah does is that, they have a third person also on there. I know that if I go to my... I could have a third window open, and I think if I go to a setting within YouTube's video manager, it shows all the super chats as they show up. But I don't know if it does it live or if you have to keep pressing F5. So we'd almost need someone over there on the other computer doing it, because we're just on a little laptop trying to do this. Son of
Sorry.
What's that?
Can you scroll back up for 1 second?
Yes.
One more. Arcadia. I have a 91 MR2 NA and I've been slowly going 5S FTE. That's when you turbo a 5S.
Okay.
Just straight up. You can actually bolt the CT26 turbo on it. Just have the same bolt pattern. I was wondering if you thought it'd be worth it or should I swap it. Do not finish your 5S FTE. It will blow up the instant you drive it. Just drop a 3S GT in there, call it a day, and enjoy your factory turbo engine. Sorry. Just didn't want to get housed on that.
Oh, what? Okay.
What was that? What is that?
Yeah, that's...
Is that a new one?
W. Bush says never tell anybody about this.
You got it.
Do you think I was played by that Nunya business guy and you're making up for that? Thanks, man.
I don't know, but he said never tell anyone, so we won't tell them the specifics.
Okay. Thank you, sir. I will put it to very good use. Probably putting it toward RCR Chicago. Don't dad click. Take it easy. Son of an advisor 169. Thank you very much, sir. Camera Bird says, does a person with a Nissan slightly sound like?
What does a person with a Nissan SIL 80?
SIL 80?
What's a SIL 80? Is that a thing?
Oh, now the cloud's in front of me.
And that's the way the cookie crumbles.
Oh,
there's Timothy following up on the Avalon. A coworker needed the space. Well bought, Timothy.
I hardly touched it and it went to the bottom again. Oh. Okay, there was W. Bush, but there was stuff before that.
I don't know if your dad thing hitting it. I think it's just touchy.
Yeah. Okay, we're getting close to the bottom of these super chats.
Here we go.
Jay Dade with $2 Canadian. As a Canadian, stop over apologizing for super chats. But I want to be
as a Canadian. Stop as a Canadian. Stop apologizing. Well, he's very sorry.
I'm getting to everybody as logically as we can. I have not yet cracked my third beer because I'm waiting for my water to get filled. Loving the Camry attention opinions on something. Old family wagon is off the road.
Sorry.
Back up.
1 second. Just one.
Carcane, was that last beer supposed to be shared and now Mr. Regular has to watch me drink it all? No, it was not supposed to be shared. We do not share.
I have Victory Headwaters. This is my cool down beer. This better not be 7% again. My other two beers were pretty rocking and rolling. I think this is a Pilsner. Whatever Victory Headwaters is.
Oh, this is my highest one. This is 8.
Whoa!
Yeah, that's what you do before you hit the road. That's not true. I'm going to drink lots of water and eat some food before I leave.
I'm going on a Sheets run. That's the thing about drinking. I kind of want a Sheets burrito right now.
Sheets make some damn good subs, too. Come out this way to pick up cars. It's been a while, though.
I mean, Wawa.
The Wawa's better.
All right.
Yeah, no, that's not a...
Have I attended Hunt Valley Horsepower Cars and Coffee? Kylie, thanks for $2, man. Cars and Coffee. No, I have not. I can't remember where Hunt Valley is. Is that
Hunt Valley? Oh, I got nothing on
Jersey?
Hunt Valley.
I don't know if that's a Jersey thing or if that's a Maryland thing. I was down to Shrews Valley.
One of the super chats just disappeared.
It's okay because it'll still appear in the scroll.
Yeah.
It better.
Our mistake was going to them, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's how we missed them.
That's what I've been doing with super chats until this point, and ignoring the thing. Matthew Mole says he's playing you. So, okay, that makes me feel better. If that none of your business was saying he missed my $50 thing. Jake Hashish says, which ricer is best ricer? Okay. The best ricer is never Japanese. It's a Ford Probe. All kitted out from Pep Boys and Advanced Auto. It can't be the V6 because that's kind of a cool engine.
It is.
That 3 liter
Mondeo engine.
Yeah. It has to be the 2 liter.
Yep.
We got to go full 90s with this. He has to have, what's that bass thing in you back if you didn't want to have a subwoofer, that torpedo tube thing?
Torpedo tube, yeah.
Yeah. It's got to have that.
Torpedo tube, I think it was called. Yeah, and from the front at a distance, commonly mistaken for a SW20 MR2. Very similar front silhouette profile. Yeah, not similar in any other way.
This Ford Probe has to have some sort of knockoff Rocket Bunny kit, but it's primer gray, and it's been because it's driven in Pennsylvania. He hit a bunch of curve and it's dangling. the little push pins
just zip tied on now. Just
it's hanging from the front. Thanks, Jake.
That's well played too. Ford Pro. That's quality. That's a quality choice right there.
Okay, we haven't told anybody about W. Bush.
Nothing to see here, W.
Matthew Mole. Thanks, Matt. Review Rudders versus Wawa versus Sheets. None of you played you. I've been played. It wasn't the first time. I've never been able to get a hand job I liked. Because they always try to tickle my belly, and I don't like that. Review Rudders versus Wawa versus Sheets. Okay. Sheets is the easiest place to get gas because they have the largest footprint of land because they're on lower property values. That's where they build Sheets. Wawa has the best coffee, and it has the best subs, but people have heard me say this before. They can't make a meatball sub to save their life. Sheets has the best comfort food and the best drinking food, and that's what I'm craving right now. Rudders is the team mystic of gas stations. The only thing Rudders have above the other two is that the Rudders in Hamburg did the same move as Wawa did and called their deli a restaurant, and they have 6-packs to take out. We would have gone there, but they don't have the mix and match. They don't have the good selection. They have Trogs, but that's it.
That would have been subpar.
You know, they have Shock Top, but who cares? They have they're calling Blue Moon craft beer. It isn't. Thanks, Matthew Mole.
You know an interesting fun fact about Blue Moon? The founder, when he first started selling it into the bars, they were serving it with a lemon, and people didn't like it.
Oh.
And he had to correct them and be like, no, it's served with an orange slice, and that's when they took off because it wasn't selling through well. And he's like, no, it's not a lemon, it's an orange peel. They're like, why did you say so? Interesting fun fact, unrelated to cars.
And now the old lady drinks beer, but only Blue Moon. And also Tony Airlines loves Blue Moon. I love Tony Airlines. We went camping together. It was awesome. We hiked the IT. You haven't met Tony. He also lives in Jersey. Forget where. What's right across from Philly?
Trenton.
Okay, so the nice part, and I forget where that is.
Cherry Hill.
Wherever he says he's stationed out of JFK, but he says it's almost equidistant from JFK to Philly Airport from wherever he's living in Jersey.
I mean, that would be the Cherry Hill
area. I've been to his house and I forget
something
where.
Like that, maybe.
Yeah.
I mean,
he drives a Nissan Versa that he bought new from a dealership. He bought a new Nissan Versa, windy windows.
Wait, sedan or hatch?
Sedan.
Ooh.
Nissan Versa sedan, windy windows. He paid $12,000.
Brand new.
New.
Does memory serve correctly that the Yaris was $9,000 when it came out?
It's a good question. I don't know.
And I should know because my girlfriend owned the first one.
Really?
Yeah. I was amazed by her frugality. It's one of the things that attracted me to her. And it was a Toyota, so I mean,
the engine though.
Not so much, yeah. It was a principal thing. She wants to be in a fast car. I'll take her out in a fast car.
This is a question for you because I can refill my water.
Charles Ebbs.
Yeah.
It's a long-time customer there. Charles Ebbs, thank you for the $5. Are RCAs worth running on lowered SW20s? I have some horrible bump steer. Charles, that's a great question. If you are racing the car, they make a substantial difference. If you're driving the car on the road, they do make a difference. It's just not as extreme. Would I buy them to put on a road car? Yeah. If I was looking for something to make the car, have better bump steer, for sure. Especially if you're running lowered and you have rough roads. Yes, they are worth running. Thanks for the question there, Charles.
Thanks for hanging out all this time, by the way, Justin.
Yeah, it's been a great time.
Good evening. I am definitely feeling some sheets after this. If you are.
I should have gotten me like a hotel around here or something.
The only thing around. Oh, jeez.
I didn't see any around here.
I can tell you some hotel stories. The closest
Holiday
thing.
Inn Express around here?
We got a Wyndham.
Rich Altman works for Wyndham.
Refresh my mind. Which
the primary organizer of the Bear Mountain meet.
Really?
And just all around good guy.
Now I'm sorry to say it's a microtel by Wyndham. That's our best hotel around here.
Well,
you can hang out with the thru hikers, or I can give you my Kelty 2-person tent, and you can sleep with the thru hikers, or you can sleep on this futon that I've been jackhammering farts into for the last 2 hours and 35 minutes.
That's a tough one. It's toss up. We're gonna leave that as toss up.
Matt Mopar 440 says, "When are you coming to Chicago?" The week of July 15th. I got an 87 Yugo GV that's currently running, but I take it day by day. I have to tell you, Matt, that Justin Lose also has a Yugo GVE, and he called dibs on us You know Justin Lose. He also has a 1925 Model T that we reviewed that he drives in downtown Pittsburgh traffic. He learned how to drive this thing. He learned how to rebuild the transmission with its fabric, these bands, these clutches that aren't clutches.
Yeah. Basically super early CVT.
You know what? You're right.
Yeah.
It's
every now and then it happens. It's rare, but
the Model T is like, imagine if a xenomorph were friendly and upstanding citizen of the commercial enterprise Nostromo, and you watch Justin Lose drive this thing in traffic, and all 4 feet are going, all hands are going, he's all steering, all handsings, spinning plates, and you watch this car, and you're skilled, it just moves.
Yeah.
But it requires the driver to be doing all this stuff.
Cirque du Soleil in the driver's seat. Yeah. Interestingly, the Ford Model T, the only mass production car I'm aware of that got cheaper as the years went on.
Shit.
Because Henry Ford wanted it to be the car of the people. Interestingly, the Volkswagen Beetle destroyed him in that sense.
Yeah.
But, it's scale.
Yeah.
But yeah, I didn't know that until recently, actually. It's an interesting fun fact there.
I also have a Jeep J10 Jeep Grand Wang. Jam Grand. I'm not sure what that means. But thanks for the $5,
Grand
man.
Wagon?
Grand
so
Wagon, okay.
Hashtag so fancy.
Kit X with 100 rubles.
You did rubles last time.
I dad clicked previous time and just sent the rubles. Would you consider a 1982, 1992 car as a vaporwave car nowadays? Okay, so a vaporwave, like if you want to be vaporwave, to me vaporwave means going back to my happy times at the Schuylkill Mall. The Schuylkill Mall, we're better than ever. We're better than ever for you. Because Dan Bell. It was neat seeing him review the Schuylkill Mall now that it's bulldozed, but,
It is no more.
Like,
what is happening outside right now?
okay, outside, I know exactly what that is. That's one of these guys with those Harley dressers with the sound systems in them. Yes. That's what's going on out there. They crank the golden oldies. They're gulping down their member berries. And would I consider an 82 1992 car as vaporwave cars nowadays? Sure. I mean, I made vaporwave mixtapes with
oh snap,
this Philips cassette deck. Someone's setting off fireworks because it's June.
Yes. Survey the magnificence.
This is what I used to make mixtapes in my 1988 Toyota AW11 Mark-1B. And yeah,
I had a Iowa triple level that I used to make.
What's a triple level?
Like it was the cassette and then the radio and then the CD.
Oh yeah.
Right? And it sat on your dresser. And I used that to make my mixtapes for my first real car, which was after the Saturn SL1 was a Aquamarine Pearl 1991 MR2 NA.
Oh shit.
Yeah,
nice.
Yeah. It took like eight hours to make like 1 hour long mixtape.
Yeah, you had
to want it. Now you just go online, click some buttons, and you're good.
Is this our kids these days moments? Not knowing the beauty of making mixtapes?
That's dedication. That's dedication to your art right there.
Because this is a quality tape. I think about selling this or just putting it out in the curb. I think I paid like $15 or $20 for this at a thrift store. This was a high-end tape deck. It's Logic.
Dude, that's probably like $500 back then.
Dude, it's got Dolby fucking... Where's my Dolby Digital? That I can record on Dolby Digital?
You got your... Oh, yeah, Dolby
NR, Dolby A,
yeah.
Dolby B, and Dolby C.
Yeah, come on. Yeah.
Which is weird because the tape deck in my MR2 was the base one, and it didn't have Dolby Digital on it. No.
It was non-Dolby. Yeah.
God damn it, like no one cares about this. Like, shut up, Grandpa. Your freaking Unreal Tournament 99.
Stop whining. I've been considering buying a Lexus LS 400. Sure. Diecast Collector 1. I've been considering buying a Lexus LS 400. Is there a certain year to look for on those cars? What are the best years in terms of reliability? Good question. It's the 1UZ, so it's basically indestructible, all the same. But as with any car, buying the latest model year possible will give you the most revisions, the generally youngest, lowest mileage, and the best reliability.
There you go. I would like to ask, thank you so much for the super chats. We will answer every single one in the chat as we scroll down, but please stop sending them. I know it's weird to stop people sending donations. Thank you so much for doing it. I will use your money very responsibly for trips in RCR Chicago. But in order to finish this, so Justin Burnash here can drive home to Jersey. He's got about a 2-hour drive ahead of him. So that puts him in bed. I want to get him in bed before midnight. So please stop asking him. And the $50 one I see right there. So thank you very much. But please stop sending the super chats now. We're going to slowly work our way to the end. Sean Brewer. Don't dad click. Sean Brewer, thanks for $10, Sean. If I get you a Fiber One sponsorship, okay, the Fiber One sponsorship is a running thing because I want to run a Lemons rally if they do Retreat from Moscow again, and I want Team Brown. I want a Fiber One sponsorship, which is like a simple sponsorship. Like, hey, Fiber One, can you like front me like $2,000 so I can
Fiber One?
Yeah.
Yes.
And like, you know. We'll put some of the big magnetic stickers on the side.
Yeah.
Give me like a case of Fiber One bars.
Well, to be true, 24 hours of Lemons. That's what you're talking about, right?
No, we're talking about the Lemons Rally.
Oh, Lemons Rally. Okay,
like
sorry.
Retreat from Moscow.
Because if it was a 24-hour of Lemons, you would hand paint it on.
Oh.
You wouldn't have any fancy magnetic. I'm sorry. I digress.
Yeah. If I get you a Fiber One sponsorship, can you take me on your next overseas trip? I don't know where that's going to be and where we're going. Like, there's going to be RCR New Zealand Part 2, and then logically it would be RCR Germany. I don't work for them, but I've heard their marketing vice president races horses and is a very sound sleeper.
I don't know what that means,
Okay.
but I like that it's
sleeper as
sneaky.
in a sleeper car. Raises horses and is a very sound sleeper.
Raises
Is that
horses, so he has more money than he knows what to do with, and he sleeps a long time, so you can rob him.
I guess that's what he means.
I don't know. Maybe I've gone too far there. I may have extrapolated excessively.
Thank you, Sean. Thanks
Sean
for the $10.
Brewer. Everyone loves their own brand. Jefferson Weed Whacker. Well played, sir. Oh, that's magic.
I am the Night Rider. I'm a fuel injection. Fuel injected fuel aside machine. That's the Boss. That's a Springsteen line.
Really?
I think it's right from Thunder Road.
Thunder.
Dan Toro, thanks for $2, man. Sharing is caring, you know. That's sharing is the way I like my masturbation. Mutual. Time to probate. Camera Bird, thanks for $2, man. My Ford Probe is Beth 240SX. My Ford Probe is a 240SX that can't do a burnout.
True story.
Yeah. Ford Probes run on wheat, not rice.
Carcane's been with us I think the whole time.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Man, sticking it out. I got
Playing for
still an
keeps.
entire beer to drink.
I gotta visit the little boys' room. Sorry.
That's okay. It's what it's there for. Win this for the endurance. Yo, did you answer my super about the 86 Riviera T-Type? Son of an advisor. Did I? Son of an advisor. Okay. I think I made a mistake. Let me see if I did or not. Son of advisor, did you answer my super about the 86 Riviera T-Type? So I'm going to copy and paste your name, Son of Advisor, Control C, and then find it here, Control V, Son of Advisor, and I'll find every post you made that Son of an Advisor made. So here we go. 1986 Riviera T-Type. Son of an Advisor sent $1.69. I remember that. Son of an Advisor says, well, I see now that gentrifying is up here, hipster. Son of an Advisor says, did you answer my question about this? Answer my super about the 86 Riviera T-Type. And then again, okay, it's looping now. 86 Riviera T-Type. Did you answer my question about the Super 87? Okay, 1986 Buick Riviera T Taio was held for review, so I guess it considered it weird or sexual. I'm again looking for it. I see that you did a super chat of $1.69, but there was no question attached to it. And then 2 posts after that, son of an advisor said 1986 Buick Riviera T Taio. So I guess you're asking me if it's a good car or not? I think it's good. Yes. Burgundy Burnouts. Hey, thanks Burgundy Burnouts. Said my turbo V6 is best naturally aspirated V8. Can't argue with that. It certainly is in the same power band. Slowly scrolling down, hoping to not dad click. Oh, I dad clicked. I'm sorry. It skipped right to the bottom, and I skipped everything. So now I got to go back up again. Going back up again. Clearly RCR can't be bought. Okay. Is that Burgundy Burnouts? Turbo Justin is back. Ubuntu super user $5 said you forgot about the black horse of gas station food, the Flying J. Okay, now we get to compare a Flying J. I mean, that's a travel center, which if you really want to get into the parlay of roadside food, you get to compare travel centers versus gas stations, and they're not the same. A travel center is a gas station for truckers. You go inside a travel center and you're going to see products relevant to long-haul truckers, not civilians, even though everybody's civilians. Or as truckers say, cagers. No, that's motorcycle. I'm sorry, four-wheelers. That's what truckers call every other car on the road. The Black Horse of gas station. I've never eaten at a Flying J. We have one. There's one on the way to Harrisburg. I stopped at it like once or twice just to fill up. I mean, Flying J is on par with a Ponderosa's salad bar. Or Wendy's Super Bar, if we're also going 90s. Look, it's like a buffet. Like it's the old country buffet of gas stations, quantity over quality. So that's what Flying J is. Honestly, I think Love's is better, but again, because Love's will have like a Subway or a McDonald's, and at least you know what you're getting. So thank you, Ubuntu super user.
So, Brian, interesting fun fact here.
Okay.
My girlfriend is a literature enthusiast, literary enthusiast, and she actually did a couple super chats. She was Meredith.
Meredith?
Yeah, and she sent me the Wikipedia on Scarlett Pimpernel, if you were interested.
Okay.
Let's see.
Yeah, I didn't answer any of those yet.
You want me to touch on
Yeah,
those?
sure.
Okay. Jake Hashash, thank you for the $2. His question is for Jeep Cherokee Sport 2000, which is still the 4-liter straight 6, supercharger or turbo? That's a question I've never heard before. Based on it being an American straight 6, actually that's irrelevant. I would just say turbo because it's a straight 6. I'm not sure what kits are available for that. What are you using it for, Jake? That's a better question. Is this just for shits and gigs?
This is amazing. The Scarlett Pimpernel is historical fiction written before World War One. I'd love to go into this and go into plot summary, but we have the peoples. Camera Bird says, also slightly is a 180 SX hatch with an S13 front. Oh, a slightly is a 180 SX hatch with an S13 front. Interesting. Huh.
Does that have any relation to the Silhouette?
I'm unfamiliar with the
race
Silhouette.
cars from like Gran Turismo 2.
Oh, don't know.
I don't know.
Thank you for $2, man. Grab sack wheat nut.
Thank you for $2, grab sack.
You can only do that if I shave. Thoughts on a Toyota Tundra as a first car? Well, I mean, it's a general purpose pickup truck. I'd recommend a single cab, short bed, if the Tundra came in single bed.
They came in single cab.
My landlord has one. It's sitting outside.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah.
I even drove it to pick up the engine for the Vagabond Falcon. I was like, this is an all right truck. He got a really base one with like vinyl floors and everything.
Oh.
Look, I mean, it's going to be fine.
I only have one point. It's not a car.
Yeah, it's a thirst.
Truck.
It's a thirst. It's going to be a, look, it's
yeah, that
a Toyota
usually
Tundra.
drinks.
It's a full-size truck. Make no about it. You're better
Yeah.
off with a Tundra if you need a daily driver, and even then, you're not going to get great
Tacoma.
mileage.
You mean Tacoma?
What did I say?
You said Tundra.
Oh, again. Yeah.
Yeah, no, Tundra, I mean, the 1UZ, if you're talking to early Tundra, I mean, I don't know which gen are you talking about. You talking about the 4.7 or are you talking about the 5.7? But yeah, I mean, they're going to be thirsty regardless. Toyota V8s are thirsty. It's not a car, it's a truck, to be fair. So it's first truck. But as a first vehicle, yeah, I mean, if you got gas money, you're going to have a hard time having many more reliable vehicles than a Tundra.
Be prepared to be the pickup truck guy. Hey, man.
Hey, can you do me a favor?
Hey, can you do me a solid?
I just got an MR2. I need to get my motor from the importer.
Oh, man. Hey, man. You know, I've been getting into vinyl, and I bought this console stereo off of Facebook Marketplace. It's at a nice house down in Cape May. Can I borrow your truck? You got
W.
easy
Bush
pass,
again.
right? W. Bush says clearly RCR can't be bought. Winky face, because he said not to say anything, and we said something. Thanks.
Disregard any previous W. Bush comments. Wink.
Joshua Taylor says, when are y'all coming to Texas? I was just in Texas. But I was
roasted.
I was in Austin,
Austin,
which
Massachusetts.
is the Portland of Texas. We went to this festival, and I saw like old lady boobs.
Oh,
You know, like women can go topless. No, they were totally topless.
Really?
At this outdoor festival in Austin. I mean, they had like temper paint all covered the nipples, and they had pasties on, but clearly it's just two grocery bags filled with oil going left and right. But I'm coming back to probably San Marcos to do more stuff at Harris Hill.
Look at this guy, a
what?
TSX. You old sailor.
Matt is dead in space. I've had a 05 Marty. My first manual for a month now. Any opinions?
I had an 05 TSX. What can I do with it? Well, I have an 05 TSX, but mine's an automatic because my other car is an MR2. Manual? What can you do with it? Well, I mean, you can do anything. It's got a K series in it. It's got the K24A2, baby. Pick your poison.
Brad Millis, thanks for $8, man. 2005 Toyota Sienna, the car for never getting pulled over. The true enthusiast car. Been
Yes.
watching you for years. Love your stuff. Keep it up. Totally agree.
Brad, you nailed that. If the goal is to never get pulled over in the history of life, the Toyota Sienna
Sienna.
beats my 05 TSX.
Mr. Regular, forgive me if you have addressed this before, but you ever plan on getting another MR2 of any generation? I haven't because, and I don't think I will. You know, never say never again, but I had my nice 2-year honeymoon with a cherry MR2. I loved everything about it. Justin had a look at it. He had it for a little bit, just checked it out, solved my low idle problem or high idle problem. High idle problem.
Mm-hmm.
It's called turning the screw.
It's called turning the set screw. That's right. No charge.
Thank you, Justin. And imagine you can only visit nostalgia in your mind. You know those memories you wanted to go back to? If you could go back in a time machine to your younger self and have your mind that you have now, you want to go back to that one grade and ask that girl or guy or they with the language that you have now. Or maybe you'd get the part in the play, in the school play that you really wanted. Or maybe now that you can be the musician you can be now and get first chair. Or maybe ace that memory passage. I know I'm going back to school stuff, but you know, now that you know calculus, you can go back and cruise through or reinvent your high school years. Or maybe even go back to that pool party that you missed in 1997. If you got in that time machine and went back, you would realize with your modern brain that those times weren't as good as you thought they were. As our minds atrophy a little bit, and I know this is coming right from that Wear Sunscreen song of the 90s, advice is a form of nostalgia where we dig the past out of the garbage, clean it off, and recycle it for more than it's worth. The MR2 is still my idea of the greatest car ever built, but or the first gen MR2. But I want that dream to stay a dream. I want to remember it with happy thoughts, and I know that if I held on to that AW11, eventually it would come time for maintenance, and that's a pain in the dick. That's a lot of vacuum lines coming off of that engine.
A whole lot of vacuum lines. Yes. Now, if Mr. Regular had owned a Gen 4 or Gen 5 swapped Mark II, this may be a different conversation. I'm not saying that may not ever happen. Winky face, smiley face.
Life is long. Don't close doors because you never walk through them. Now there was a
Did we dad finger that?
We did. There was a $50 question I skipped.
Coming in hot.
It's red. We have to look for a red one. Tap, 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 tap. Tap. Now wait a minute,
We
Brad.
read that one.
We did that one. Clearly RCR can't provide. There was a $50 question. I wish they weren't disappear. Why do they have to disappear?
Yeah, it's like they're taunting us.
The people who programmed this programmed it for people who would cannonball these questions and not give them the time that they deserved.
I think peons is who they programmed before. Not educated connoisseurs like themselves.
Clearly not.
Yeah. Or
what are your thoughts on the McLaren F1?
What are our thoughts? Amazing. That's our thoughts.
I've never seen one in real life. Have you?
No. Interestingly, of all the cars I've seen or driven due to my amazingly generous, wealthy friends at the racetrack, the F1 is not one of them, but I do know that Jay Leno says it's still to this day his favorite car, and right behind that is a Carrera GT, which I have driven. And is amazing. Shockingly, amazingly amazing. My friend Gordo let me drive that. Gordo! Yeah,
Where
Pocono.
did you? At Mount Pocono Raceway?
Yep, down the back straight. 160 miles an hour.
Oh.
612 horsepower, just screaming against that banking. Oh! That's one of the great engine notes.
Yeah.
Yeah. The V10 in there. Oh my god. It was just amazing. It was ridiculous. It was white. But yeah, I mean, Jay Leno says his F1 is his favorite car. Who might argue?
Right.
Great engine noise. Gold leaf heat shielding in the engine bay. I mean, come on. Gordon Murray of F1 fame,
Right.
you know, designing the car specifically for one purpose. And it's got 3 seats.
Right.
3 seats! And the driver, correctly, sits at the 4.
And
the
it's an
passengers.
American design and the shifters on the right.
That's correct.
Yeah.
That's correct. And interestingly, the American imported ones had little silly bumperettes on the front for
Yeah.
crash standards because the bumper was too low.
Oh.
And they look hilarious, but everyone took them off. Yeah. And I think the last one sold for 12 million?
No.
Yeah, I mean, they sold for $1 million.
No.
That was the first $1 million car.
12 million.
In 97, that was the first $12 million car.
I remember because James Corey, a guy in marching band with me, was the first guy who showed me this, and he showed me the gold heat shielding. It's like, look, that car's got gold on it. It's $1 million. And I remember I was in James Corey's basement at a party at his house, and he was flipping through pictures on his computer. Wonder what he's doing these days, James Corey. He's married. He's got kids.
Corey, give us a shout out.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a BMW 6-liter V12.
He was
in that
killer
bad
on the
boy.
drum set. I think he still plays. Alexander Marine says you're still going. Yeah. Greg Wicks says, is this the same Greg Wicks as this guy?
Yes.
So we missed a $50 question, but we have to go back and find it.
I don't know how he missed it. Yeah, well,
I saw it up
yeah.
there,
That wasn't the old W. Bush?
unless it was hanging around. Greg Wicks says, wondering if, again, no more super chats, please.
Oh,
We're going to wrap this up.
Oh, an XJ.
All right. You take it, Justin.
Greg Wicks, thank you for the $20. Wondering if I should keep my 93 Jag XJ, replacing it with a sensible lease as a weekend car, or if should sell it for something like a Miata, keep up with awesome content RCR. Well, he is awesome with content. Greg, I'm gonna go ahead and borrow a little bit from Top Gear here, or former Top Gear, now Grand Tour. One cannot replace a Jag with a Miata, nor should one. If you are okay with the maintenance rule of owning a Jag, which is you must own 2, one to drive to and from the mechanic each time you're dropping off or picking off the other one,
Yeah.
or you have another daily driver, then please keep the Jag XJ. One of my actually favorite cars. I've yet to own one. I've driven many, but you know. A Miata? I'm not hating on the Miata, because hate's a strong word.
A Miata will teach you a lot about driving.
And the
But
Jag will
one
teach
thing
you
a Mi-
about living.
You know what a Miata doesn't do well? It does. On a track. On a track, they're fun. They're fun to throw.
They are.
You know what a Miata?
Good chassis.
You know what a Miata is? It's a cheap pair of sunglasses. You don't give a fuck about.
And you will throw that cheap pair of sunglasses
Yeah,
into the wall if
and
you
it
like.
never breaks
That's
because
right.
it's a cheap pair of sunglasses. You'll never lose it. They'll never crack.
But a Jag.
Miatas don't cruise.
Mm-mm. In fact, they do it poorly.
There's something about there's a special thing that some cars can do where going in a straight line is exciting. And it's not high horsepower. That's maybe it's the interior, maybe it's the suspension, maybe it's the way the seat sits at a particular angle, but there's some cars that they cruise and that's the most fun thing you can do. And you know, that's my Falcon, which I think we have to take the sheets after this.
Especially
You've
if
never
they have
ridden
quad headlights, which a Jag XJ does.
Again, I dad click. Greg Wicks. Okay.
Well bought, Greg Wicks. Do not sell your Jag.
22R Toyota pickup truck with Weber carburetor. Do you believe there could be a race truck? Look.
You got enough time? You got enough money? Anything can be a race truck.
Our intern, everybody asks about Ben Wright. He's completed his intern last summer. It was over. It's been a year, but some people know you still have Ben Wright as your intern. You remember Ben?
Yeah,
he was there. Yeah. So that thing blew a head gasket. He tried to sell. There was a guy who wanted it for a 4A GE swap, just to turn it into a cheap FX16. That deal fell through. He has it. He thinks, I don't know if he's going to swap it himself or just do the head gasket himself. Either one's fine. I didn't know that the 4A GE, according to was it you or someone else said shares the same engine mounts as the A4, whatever carbureted engine that's in there. It's the same.
It probably does. It probably wasn't me because I wouldn't know definitively to say.
Okay.
But being an 80s Toyota, I would suspect that it may be a near drop-in.
I tried to get Ben right, and this is Tots on Toyota pickup trucks with the carburetor, is that there is a 2-barrel Weber kit on eBay for a lot of those engines. That's your solution.
Yeah. Injection. Injection. Not the plates with some ports and some fuel falling in with air. Especially if it's Japanese injection.
OG Mango says, is that Gary the Snail with a turbo as his shell on your hat? If so, it's amazing.
OG Mango, that is Gary the Snail with the turbo as a shell. And thank you for recognizing my amazingness. You're amazing.
Chad Mule, Elon Musk, do you feel he's an overrated following, and what is your take on his character paired with his goals? Look, he's a genius engineer that failed to realize the number one rule of the internet. You don't feed the trolls. And gosh darn it, man, the guy is just spoon feeding them. Like, people were giving him shit about the Model 3's braking. There was that whole article that when it came out, the Model 3 had the same braking distance as a Ford F-150. It was some software thing.
Yeah.
And like the brakes,
it's all software.
Yeah, the brakes just wouldn't engage fully, and the thing went. Bleh. And then people started mocking him, and he just fed the trolls, man. Look, I mean, he's an engineer, and let's keep it with the 80s with Toyota. What's War Games? The only way to win is to not to play. And look, you have a great company, man. You just stay the course.
3 great companies. Solar City.
Oh, right.
Tesla. And SpaceX.
Of course.
Yes. Have you ever read his biography?
Have not.
His biography is fascinating. Not autobio. It's just a straight bio. The guy's a freak. Like, genius-wise.
Yeah.
Like, he taught himself rocket science.
Shit.
To do SpaceX. And then he went and found, like, enthusiasts back then because there was no industry. Like, short of NASA and Russia.
Yeah.
And, like, he was like, well, we're just going to invent it all.
Nice.
Yeah, no joke. And almost bankrupted himself personally of the $300 million he cashed out on PayPal.
Really?
He sold PayPal to eBay.
Oh,
like,
shit.
Completely no money left when that last flight actually made it into orbit.
Fuck off.
Yeah, they were gone if that didn't make it. Just a little fun fact, not sure if anyone cares.
Shit. There was one comment that went down by the wayside. I want to fill my ass. Gapped by your thick PA cocks. It's not really that big. Fill my...
Can we not?
Yeah. We're not in the UK, so we can't, and we're not in Australia, New Zealand. Yeah. With hot nut. Hot nut. If I ever have a boat, it's going to be called Hot Nut. Ceaseless, thank you for $2.79. I would keep the X. Oh, shit, Dad clicked.
Finger. Dad click. Sorry, I keep saying dad finger. That's inappropriate. It's dad click.
Oh, wait, I think that's it.
Yeah, we're
now, what happened to that $50 question that I saw? Unless that was... We are at the very bottom. There was that $50 question that I thought would there. Hot nut, dad finger.
You guys are on point. You guys are good.
Hey, love the show. Podcast thoughts on the 1980 Honda CM400E as a first bike. Excellent bike. Might be getting a good deal on one. As long as it runs, man, it's worth $500.
Because it's a Honda.
Yeah, it's no problem. I wish when I've owned like 10 motorcycles over the years. What?
Honda Civic has posted many times. I think I missed 1 or 2 good ones. I always want to know what's better, the Toyota Corolla or the Honda Civic. Probably 2 of the greatest, most prolific cars ever made by Japanese companies. Yeah. There's no wrong answer there. The Civic does handle better.
Yeah. JDE, $2 Canadian dollars. Here's fun for millennial fingal surgery. Matthew Mull, $50 question was a tell no of us. Thank you, Matt. We are wrapping this up, please. Please no super chat questions. We need to go to Sheets and get some food in us. Again, super chat question. Metal, it's okay. They're on a delay. They're on about an 8-second delay.
It was more than 8 seconds.
Metal 50 said, sold my AE86 for a similar reason as the MR2. After I bought a Z31 with 477 kilometers. Okay, sorry, I have to scroll up and stop the feed.
That says K miles. 444,000
miles.
Post untouched, no rush, working AC. Best car.
Is that a Z car? A Z31?
Yeah, that's the pre. That's the Z31 was the. The pre Z32. It was the slightly longer, slightly narrower Z car.
Was that the one where the headlights didn't fully fold down? You could still see them there.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah, and then the Z32 had flush mounts. Yeah. 447,000 mile, one owner? And what was a similar reason you sold your 8086 as the MR2?
I think he was talking about the whole idea with dreams.
Oh.
And, it worked perfectly. It
Yeah.
started. There was no rattles.
Yeah.
Anything. It was
Which generation
perfect.
MR2?
Yeah.
Interesting. Best car I've had for 3
See,
grand.
when I think of the MR2, I look at that and I look at my Suzuki DR650 motorcycle with the mine has mounts on it and cages on the back tail. You'll see it when we go. Well, I'll lift the thing off. I can put some nice panniers on there or big, probably soft saddlebags. And it'll, like my motorcycle, if I wear a backpack, will carry this, has the same cargo capacity as an MR2, minus putting stuff on the passenger seat. So I'm like,
as a Mark 1 MR2.
Mark 1.
See, the Mark 2, on purpose, will fit a golf bag in the trunk.
Yeah.
Which the Mark 1 would not.
No.
It was about 3 inches short.
The
Squeeze it in.
the Mark 1's trunk is about the depth, like the width of this laptop.
It is. It's super, super skinny, yeah. And the Mark 2, the SW20 is
I like that
bigger.
it's there though.
Yeah.
And you can have 2 trunks and I stuff stuff in the front.
Yeah.
You have to unpack your suitcases.
Yeah. The SW20 is just big enough with the front and the rear, but let's be honest, most SW20 owners, myself included, when I daily drove one for 15 years, we use the passenger seat as the trunk for the most part.
Yeah.
Because we don't have passengers.
There's a video that I have yet to post of my last drive in my Toyota. And I had this one kind of remix vaporware thing playing. I mean, it's Ghosts by Soviet. And I had this one thing called We Can Never Go Back to That Point of View. But since it's copyrighted music, I couldn't post it. I wonder if I can post it on Facebook video.
Interesting. So Facebook theoretically has the same algorithms or types of algorithms as YouTube does for copyrighted music.
Yeah.
However, I don't think they work the same. Mostly because I think the nature of like YouTube, like people just post songs on YouTube, right?
Yeah.
It doesn't really happen on Facebook. So I would venture that organically you could post it easily and not have a problem.
Yeah.
If you ran it paid, like with money behind it, as a boost or as an ad, I bet you'd still probably get away with it. If not for a while. Because they just don't check that stuff that much. They're checking for rules and explicit language and inappropriate content and inappropriate targeting. Like Facebook's checking for everything else now. Not the same stuff YouTube checks for.
Really?
Not entirely the same stuff. But yeah, copyrighted stuff. No harm, no foul. Post it if they don't take it down. They just would delete money if you had money behind it.
Okay, and there's nothing monetized on the regular Car Reviews Facebook
you post it organically. Worst that happens is it just sits there.
Ceaseless says, my question won't show up. I wanted to know if the 500 Abarth was a good first car. No. It depends.
But a cool car.
It's a cool car. I'm considering it for a first and it looks fun to drive. Yeah, fuck all. It's great to drive. They're fun all the time. Look, but that's a first car you're pumping 93 octane into.
And not for nothing, it's Italian. Regardless of how corporate Fiat is now with Sergio Marchionne at the helm, it's an Italian car.
Like, you want a...
Well, I mean, is this a brand new one that you're leasing? Or are you buying this?
Your first car, see, your first car, I'm assuming you're in your 20s, and this is going to sound, no, wait, this isn't condescending. This is something I wish I could tell my younger self. The human brain, the frontal cortex, doesn't finish forming until about age 25.
Mm-hmm.
I'm glad I had a shitbox Neon.
Mm.
I drove that like a freaking cock gobbler. I forgot about that phrase. Cock gobbler.
That's bygone. Okay.
I think that's from like Clerks or Mallrats or something. Cock gobbler. Your first car should be grossly underpowered. I think a good first car is either see, you're an enthusiast because you're on this stream, so you should want something fun. You should have a car that gives you the sensation of speed without the speed. I'd go Toyota Yaris with a manual. Bam, off the rev limiter. Bam, off the rev limiter. And that VVTi engine just goes, I'm sorry, what were you saying?
Mm-hmm. Come again?
Yeah, come again.
Interestingly, that is the argument that my father, who is a diehard AW11 fan.
Yeah. Oh, your dad.
Well, he is a blacktop one because after he drove my blacktop,
yeah,
the 4AG, standard 4AG wouldn't do. But he will not acknowledge the superiority of the SW20 with a Gen 4 or Gen 5 because they are fast enough that you cannot use all of the performance on the street above second gear. And in a Mark 1, regardless of what engine you have in it, with the exception of a 3S GTE, you can't overdrive it. It's like nearly impossible. So you can drive a slow car fast versus driving a faster car slower. Yeah. And that is true. He's 100% correct. And when you're young, I mean, my first car was a 80 horsepower Saturn SL1. And it's good it was. I did not drive it like it was supposed to be driven, as do we all. But if it's your first car, you need something underpowered and preferably front-wheel drive. Yeah. Because you will put it in the wrong side of a hedge, even if you're moderately responsible.
I put my Neon in a snowbank at least twice.
Yeah, well, that's where they belong.
Yeah. Like I love Honda's D series engine. Mm-hmm. The single jingle. Yep. First throttle body and then port fuel, but it's a single jingle that just spins all the way up
and forever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
a Both is too much car for a first driver, even though it's still front wheel drive.
Yeah. I think we're ready to wrap this up. Gosh, I hope I didn't skip any super chats. Without you guys, we wouldn't have the travel budget we had, so thank you so much. Regular Guard says, if you need some good vapor air, check Telepath on Bandcamp. Okay, thank you.
He's the one who does everything in rubles.
Oh.
He had 2 or 3 super chats, I believe.
Awesome.
In rubles, yeah.
Middle says you were dead on about the dream part. My 86 drove beautifully once I finished the manual swap. Engine went barely 20 miles after the swap, and I decided I was done.
Meaning he put 20 miles on it after manual swapping is automatic, which kudos for all the effort you put into that.
Yeah.
And he was not interested anymore.
Huh.
Yeah, it's because you haven't had a Gen 4 or Gen 5 SW20. I'm just saying.
Man, I drove Luke's SW20. That thing.
Well, his AW11 with the Gen 4.
What did I say? SW20?
Yeah.
AW11. Yeah. It's like that car. It's like the engine wanted to separate from the car.
Yeah, and that was stock. It literally makes 70 wheel more horsepower now, which in that car is like it's world changing. It's like ludicrous. It has ludicrous speed, that car. It has ludicrous speed, that car. Yeah.
I think we're gonna wrap it up, guys. This is even longer than RCR After Dark. Don't be a fake cover for your snake. Stay safe. I had fun. I had fun too. Thank you so much. So once again, Justin Burnash, Prime Driven.
PrimeDriven.com.
PrimeDriven.com, the world's best source for MR2 parts, and also delving into Scion
FRSs and 86s. Yeah, and head over to the website. Check out giveaway car number 6 right now. we're going strong, and it's a right-hand drive JDM Gen 2 MR2 Turbo. It's glorious.
Epic Mike Studios. Someone sent me a text message. If you get a chance, Rudders has hash-bound wraps. Amazing, and is less than $5. They sell it 24/7 under breakfast.
Well played.
Still going to Sheets. Who sent this? I'm going to read your number. Someone probably watching this who knows my Google Voice number. Rudders has hash-bound wraps. I got burned once by Rudder's breakfast, but I'll be willing to give him another try at some point. But Sheets is closer. 1 second though. Evo 8 or 9, same gen STI GTI. Go Subaru because there's a bigger aftermarket support than Mitsubishi.
And it's Subaru, not a Mitsubishi. Thank you, Epidemics Studios, for the
$5.55. I mean, don't get me wrong. Mitsubishi Evos are great. They're great as stock.
Yeah.
That's the thing. It's crazy how a weird engine design such as a flat 4 wins the argument based on how many cheap parts are available for it. I mean, that's why the Chevy small blocks and Chevy Ford blocks small work. It's been a long night, man. Hey, thanks for sticking with us all this time. We're going to close out the stream. Hope you guys have had a great time watching this. It's been a great time hanging with you guys. Once again, thank you so much to Justin Burnash for hanging out with us, coming all this way from New Jersey. Once again, primedriven.com, world's best source for MR2 parts. Thank you very much. Have a great night.
Thanks, Brian.